let's do a cheers to the Sobeys Liquor Beer podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Very impressive. Taking a few years to put all this together.
It's not a one-year quest because it's so hard to get your hands on. At this stage of my life, I don't invest in green bananas. It's a lifetime quest. Just not sure if I'm going to be around long enough to see them ripen to be yellow. You can't party enough when you win that thing. It's a party machine. Party machine.
Girl, I can't understand it. Why you wanna hurt me?
That's why it's the Stanley Cup.
After all of the things I've done for you.
It's hard. It's hard.
I buy you champagne and roses, put diamonds on your finger. Still you hang out all night. What am I to do? My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
6:05 on the Nielson Show.
They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Homer, watch your mouth.
I gotta go. My damn wiener kids are listening.
Now, to be honest with you, they didn't suck as much last night as they did a couple of nights ago.
No, no.
So maybe that was too harsh.
The PK doesn't need to
open
go
the
to
show
hell
with that.
after all.
Yeah, I went to PK six kills last night.
Leon Draisaitl remains red hot.
Oh, and red hot. He was angry. See him push the gates. And it's
Well, he
flash
could've-
a look over his shoulder.
Could
and-
hurt your hip there.
Oh,
Wouldn't be-
boy. You got to be careful. The last thing they need is Draisaitl's out day to day after colliding with the bench door after the game in frustration. That's not going to work. 780-218-9999.
It was better.
Yeah.
It was a bit.
It was better, but it wasn't like a game I thought they deserved to win and didn't win. You know, I'll say this. I haven't looked at the deserve to win-o-meter.
Ooh.
So that's not an official statistical claim from myself, but I have a feeling they didn't deserve to win on the deserve to win-o-meter. Are you looking that up?
Well, I'm looking at the XG.
Oh, okay. What was the expected goals in last night?
2.14 for the Panthers, 1.62 for the Oilers.
All right, so they still should have lost then.
High danger chances were 50-50.
Interesting.
I guess.
Interesting. Okay. Let's work with it. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's a lifetime quest.
It is. It appears as though it will end up being a lifetime quest. We will. I mean, look. There's lots to discuss on the show today, and we are exactly 1 week from the NHL trade deadline. Da 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 da.
And happy Charch Eve to all those
man.
celebrating.
The next time
Decorations are up. You know.
Exactly.
You sit your kids down tonight, tell them the original tale.
They know.
Show the wedding pictures.
Yeah, this is where Charge started.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Somebody once told me
I can't play it. I can't play it yet.
No,
I can't
not
play-
yet.
I want it, but I can't play it yet.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow the.
Can you wait for Monday's show? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's gonna be terrific. 780-218-9999. Is there anything to talk about this morning? There probably is. So start hammering the inbox. All right, it's the Paris Jewelers inbox.
No, Steph Curry would be one of them.
My goodness. I mean, a couple of throwback old guy performances last night in the association. Steph, 12 of 19 from beyond the arc. What did he finish with? 54 or 56? 56.
Season high.
The Warriors are 7-1 since acquiring Jimmy Buckets. And then LeBron last night, 33 points, 17 boards. And they take care of business against Minnesota 4 in a row for the Lakers. I said the Luka Doncic trade was essentially also acquiring a time machine for LeBron James. His effort level on defense right now is out of this world. Like it's
LeBron
crazy.
James and time travel. Were you ready for this collab?
My life could not be any better. My life could not be any better. Rob the plumber Text in this morning. Morning, boys. Can I get a conch for my little brother for his 44th birthday today? Great show as always. Well, Rob the Plumber, we're just getting started. I mean, this show could be absolute trash, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, happy birthday to your brother. RBM, who won text of the day yesterday, coming in strong early, looking to go back to back. I gotta go. My damn wiener team is playing.
Not bad.
That's actually that's pretty funny, actually. Saskatoon Muncher is in. Nom, 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 nom. I've decided to take out my frustration on Panthers fans instead of the Oilers. Why are we booing routine offsides? LOL.
Look, you go down, you live down there, you can get 10 Panthers tickets and a free car wash when you fill your tank up with gas. I mean, that's just, they exist. They're there. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
Drinking their Michelob Lights.
About 27 of them went to the Stanley Cup celebration.
Sure, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't really...
the Panthers are playing tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's against who? Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess I'll go.
What college is that?
Got nothing. Yeah.
This text is in from Mikey. He says, let's go!
Let's go!
6 o'clocker anthem. Church begins tomorrow. I want to run through a wall. Let's go. How about a little bit of this for the OGs out there? If you know, you know.
I feel like a hero.
If you know, you know. Colton and Quinnell. He's in early. He's dropping sanctions on the team, essentially. Morning, boys. We need to take a page out of the Predators page from last season. No fun functions until we start winning hockey games. We need Seymour Burns watching the length of their sideburns. Maybe get Eddie Shore to run the team. I'm upset. I'm angry. And we just need a bounce and some bottom six scoring. Not too much to ask for, right? Well, asking for bottom six scoring from this group this year might be too much to ask for.
There's a tongue in cheek there, I think.
It might be too much to ask for. It's like the Oilers last year in the playoffs saw the Henrique line and was like, we should lock up this aging line and see if they can do it for an entire 2 years. But that line doesn't, it's not a thing anymore.
Trying to catch lightning in a bottle, eh?
Yeah. Well, that's what they were, yeah. Starting to think the offseason wasn't terrific. But whatever.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got a week now.
Trev, when did you turn it off last night?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the question here during this losing streak. How bad? At what point? Well, I mean, it was a 2-2 game in the third. You watched
until the Schmidt show.
I think you watched the whole thing, didn't you?
I did.
You did.
You sick.
My man.
I didn't turn it off last night.
I turned it off with 13 seconds left. It was time to put the kids to bed. I was like, I don't need to watch this final 13 seconds of the defensive zone face-off. And it was just...
Yeah.
So that's when I turned it off.
That's fair.
So how are you feeling then today, buddy?
You know what?
Mr. Positive swing here, I think.
Game one of this road trip, they showed up with that effort level. I think that's just it. That's it with me. That's it with a lot of Oilers fans. The first few games there, it was just, they looked like they didn't care. They looked like they didn't care. And last night, it looked like they cared a little bit more. So I'm not as mad yesterday. Yes, they lost. There's a few things. I was listening to postgame. I think Gager, Hernan, and Tommy, they all nailed it.
Great post-game last night.
Yeah, breaking down the game, and I couldn't agree more. Just missed opportunities. I'm sorry, McDavid, he's... I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to get his teammates involved. I don't know if he's trying to get that record to join Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky as the only two players to have 700 assists before 700 games played. Maybe that's why he was passing up.
I sure hope it's not. But
I don't know.
We got cups to win in the year.
I think a little bit more on maybe I'm just trying to get more of the guys involved. But there is a few times he's in grade A. He had grade A opportunities and he's just passing them. Like, this is a 60-goal scorer. This is the best player in the world, and he is wide open in front of the net. Connor McDavid? Oh, yeah. I was baffled at a few of those plays. It wasn't just him, though. Nugent Hopkins on the power play. They're just grade A shots, and they're just way too passive right now. They need to start shooting the puck, and I'm sorry, I hate shoot the puck guy.
Yeah.
That was my beef, maybe 3 weeks ago. But when you draw up plays to get those opportunities, that's when you shoot. There's nothing else to do. You shoot there. So I don't know what they're doing. I'm very lost on that. They did lose, but I'm optimistic for tomorrow. I am.
You are.
I am.
Reed Wilkins thinks they're going to lose like 7-8-0.
He called the 0-5.
He did. Reed Wilkins called the 0-5. The old bookbinder of Alberta.
The
eh?
bookbinder of Alberta.
I said 4-1 last week.
So you need this one then.
need-
Wait, you said 4-1?
Yeah, so it's
Never
nothing.
mind. I
Yeah.
thought you said 1-4. Oh, that is hilarious. It's almost a flipperoo. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
Yes, click the thumbs up. We are 51 away from changing 100. Let's smash through that today. We're here for you today, right? This is our role. We're like one of those dogs with blind people.
We've been here before.
We're here to help you when you need your help. 780-218-9999. Bury the cheater to the Paris Jewelers inbox today. Question, if we're getting Mary J. Blige to start the show today, can we get some Glass Tiger at the end maybe? Maybe just a taste? Makes my day.
Man, that just triggers
It's just- I know.
that end of work whistle.
Yeah,
Like,
that was it. That was the
what
bit.
that is. Yeah.
Get me my Brontosaurus, and I'm sliding off to the rest of my day. Hey, those are the good times, man. Those are the good times. Big Slam Nasties, and it says, I didn't turn the game off yesterday. My wife did, while I silently protested on the couch. She asks, why do I let a bunch of athletes affect my emotions?
Well, we're into that stage.
That's it. Yeah, that's what it is. The Oilers' 5-game winning streak is forcing couples into serious relationship conversations.
Really exploring the idea of sport on its own.
Yeah.
Like really getting in. What is the meaning of all of this? Like you're starting to get into those conversations.
What would our lives be like if sports were never invented? Right? We would just be doing sticky bits about other things. Hey, boys, can I get a conch for it finally being Friday? It's been a week of calving season starting this week, and the first cow needed a C-section, and the calf ended up dead. 3 days later, another cow giving birth, and she gets a prolapse. Calf survived, but the cow ain't doing too well. Oh, and the Oilers are on a losing streak to top it off.
Wow.
Oh, Sea-Dog. Sea-Dog looks like you're in it. You're in one right now, buddy. Here you go. I'll be honest with you. When I started reading that, I didn't think it was going to lead to C-section to try to save a calf, and then failed on it. So
it was like an onion.
Yeah, well, we have to peel that today, right? I said we would do that. I said we would peel the onion today back on the whole conversation if they end up losing. Jen is in and says, Dusty, I know you're a big Back to the Future guy. Did you see that Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and the original Jennifer and the principal, Strickland, are coming to the Calgary Comic Expo? You can get your hoverboard signed. Well, here's the thing. My full-size hoverboard is actually already signed by both Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. And I went and saw Chris Lloyd at the Edmonton Comic Expo 8 years ago. I was wearing a flux capacitor shirt. It really worked out well. Yeah. But the Michael J. Fox thing would be intriguing. When is Calgary Comic Expo? I might dress up like Griff Tannen and go down there and see if it throws them, see if it rattles
Haircut
them.
and everything.
Yeah, the whole thing. That's not bad. Stu Pedasso is it. It says, everyone needs to settle down. The Oilers will be fine. Didn't need that break. It's just like October all over again. Yeah, you got to figure that out. Dave the Welder is in and says, tell Sea-Dog to give me a shout. I'll hook him up with a calving ease bull so he can just be sad about the Oilers next year not calving.
I like this.
That's a good one.
The power of EST.
I do like the idea of selling a bull to Sea-Dog on the show today.
Yes. You've always wanted to do the swap shop type of...
this is great.
Now's your chance. You can do cattle auctions.
Dave the Welder, how much are we looking at? Dave the Welder, how much are we looking for now? Dave the Welder, let's go. Do we got 3,000, 4,000, 5,000? Oh, that's a nice black Angus bull right there. He sent me a picture.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to take this picture and send it to Sea-Dog. And then, maybe we can make it work.
Getting ahead of the trade deadline here.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Let's sell a bull to Sea-Dog this morning. Stop these calving issues. Rip City Step is in and says, can we get a conch for Sticky Rice, who's out of the hospital and came to Boston Pizza Westgate last night? Of course. She wasn't supposed to leave the hospital, but she did.
Yeah.
Because she had to get to Boston Pizza Westgate because Toadie's giving away prizes.
Gown and everything.
Dave the Welder wants $6,000 for that bowl. Sea-Dog, we're looking at $6,000. Stop your calving problems now. Stop your calving problems now. Give me $6,000. Come on, Sea-Dog, buy this bowl. I'll keep doing this all hour. Anyway, six grand, Sea-Dog, if you're looking for a new bowl. I'll get you in touch with Dave the Welder. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet.
I really like this taking over the program today.
Yeah. We sell 3 bowls today, actually. Somebody in town buys one just because they want to be a part of the bit.
And all the deals have to be done in the parking lot here.
Yeah.
With Victor looking
you
on.
can definitely, Victor's watching, and we have
This
like
is the neutral
stock
ground.
trailers backing up to each other. And Victor's like, what's going on here? What are you doing with the cattle in the parking lot?
Takes a long
I don't
drag.
like this.
I might want one of those. Like, no, he gets involved. No, he's a player.
Give me 2. And then he keeps them in the fenced off area off the side of the thing. I don't mind that idea.
I like it all happening.
Yeah.
Give it all to me.
The Nielsen Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chevrolet. If you call right now at 780-998-7883, that's 780-998-7883. If you call right now and book with the code EST, you'll get a $160 inspection here. Let's go for free. If you call and book right now with the code EST, you will get a full vehicle inspection, regularly $160. You'll get it for free. Okay, let's do that right now. Cheer yourself up by saving $160 and getting something for free at South Fort Chev. 780-998-7883. All right, well, there we go. Let's see if we can get a deal done. Corey B is up and says, if Sticky Rice isn't up for most dedicated nasty, the academy should be removed.
Jocelyn showing up to every single Monday and Thursday night game has got to be.
That's got to be up there too.
I just want. Look, it's going to be
Sticky Rice coming to Boston Pizza Westgate after neck surgery.
It's going to be a hell of a field.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. And the year is not even. I mean, we're just.
And then of course there's a Teef. I'm kidding.
He's wanting to do something with the click, click, click.
Oh no,
he's going to get in his lab now.
No. That's how about no, Teef? How about no, you crazy bastard? All right, let's lay out the whole show for you today. It's an interesting one.
Oh, that third hour really too gets.
Oh yeah. Well, you'll never believe what's going down tonight. I don't even know if we should tease it. But we have to.
Yeah.
We got to lay out the show. You'll be very excited for this. We'll get to your morning announcements coming up. Busy night in the National Hockey League last night. Morning after show is on the way as well, just after 6:30. We'll crack some packs for Wayne's Sports Cards. For all you Crack Pack members on the Facebook group, we'll have a break on Sunday night. So watch for that throughout the weekend. Chris Johnston for Pro-Am Sports. From TSN and The Athletic. He's going to be by just after 7 o'clock today. That hurts probably shortly after CJ. We'll dive into some sort of cool bet play of the day. The Fan Zone around 7:30 today. The question on the Fan Zone today, she's a juicy one. She's a juicy one, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Is it a trade that saves this team right now? Is that what is required to get this thing back on the track and get it up to 88 miles per hour? And they can fast forward right to the future and the playoffs and a Stanley Cup.
Couple of minor trades or a real big?
I don't know.
A big hitter.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how they could do a big one. But, dude, like, does a couple of smaller trades help this team? Or does it have to come from within?
It's what's the pound of flesh for the fans right now?
Yeah.
Because they think they,
If there's one thing that really helps management groups and teams in general and franchises, it's to get the pound of the flesh that the fans want. You know?
Well, when you've hit a skid like this, it's tough to look away from that. But again, they'll come back. They'll beat the Ducks. They'll beat the Habs.
Yay!
Then it makes it a little easier to pass.
You know what? With this team, though, let's say they lose to Carolina, they come home, they spank the Ducks. That might be enough to get them going again. You know, like the confidence comes back, the swagger comes back, and they start to roll again. I mean, that might be it. That's a good coming up around 7:45 today. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions, 2 men in. Beer of the week's going to happen just after 8:30 today. We're going to connect with Ryan Kemp, the CEO, president, and founder of Screaming Retriever Brewing Company in Calgary. They send us these. Look at this. It's like a handkerchief of a bike gang.
Yeah.
I like that. What would that be called? What is that? That's a bandana? What is that?
It's like a smaller. It's maybe for a dog. I guess you could put it around.
You could also. I want to put it on and go rob the saloon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to wear it when you do your cattle
rob
deals.
a train. Yeah. You know what? I would wear one of those around my neck when I'm auctioneering. That's what I would do. And then how about this? 8:45-ish today. And if you missed the video earlier in the week, you can find it over on our YouTube channel. It's EST Short, the Chamber. We've been accepted. We've been admitted to the Edmonton Chamber of Commerce as a legitimate business.
We got in.
And today is they call it, I don't know if it's supposed to be out there for non-chamber members, but I'm just going to tell you. It's called Coffee with the Chamber.
Is this that $10 coffee I've been hearing so much about?
Well, I think you can have multiple coffees. It's not as expensive as the coffee Trev gets every day. But Jay is he's at the Coffee with the Chamber this morning.
Do you have to tip?
But it's for members only.
Do you have to tip at the chamber?
No, I prepaid on a credit card.
Can he bring back a few bladders for the boys?
Actually, that would be good. For the boys.
For the boys.
Yeah, that's good. He's going to sell 2 bowls at the thing. Anyway, so Jay is going to the Coffee with the Chamber today, and he's going to come on the show
live from the chamber.
Coffee with the Chamber, which I don't know if it's allowed. We might get kicked out. Like, you might not be able to connect on video inside the chamber, so we'll see. But it's pretty exciting.
We get to, like, again. This is like Illuminati. We are going inside the stonecutters.
That's how I imagine this. Yeah.
You might even see a ceremony going on in the background or some sort of hazing ritual initiation, hey?
I hope so. I'm going to ask
Jay's going to do the thing where he falls backwards and they all catch him in their arms. Yeah.
Jay, did you have to take a spanking at the first ever Coffee with the Chamber? And if they require it, you do it, man.
A new tattoo,
You
perhaps.
do it for EST. Marmot Basin Snow Report today, and, of course, the wrap for William Huff. Let's get into your morning announcements today. And then just after 6:30 morning after show, I know there's a bunch of comments right off the top of the show over in the Nasty Chat and in the inbox, obviously, about the hockey game and the state of the team right now. So we'll definitely get into that. Morning announcements brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock, Yukon and McCord every single morning. And the lovely Jess Jackson. I have to go over there today and pick up my T4, my Bell Media T4. So I'm going to see Jess this afternoon, actually. So that's exciting. Hey, guys, is Gager going to go with Jay to the chamber meeting to explain how much they can earn by not buying coffee? Listen, everybody here for the coffee. If you would have taken that $10 and invested it with me in the year 2050, you'll have $24.
Might be an old power play on the chamber there from us, from our angle. Saving them, like we go
Saving
in there
them
first
money.
day, and now we're just saving the money all of a sudden.
God, I think
they would have.
Whoever's running, like the boss of the chamber, really liked our video. Like, really liked it.
Really liked
it. Wants to do like a follow-up where they actually follow a map. I was like, wow, this guy's a psycho. Can't wait. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it's all real. It's not like there is a map. Like, lean into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, let's go. There's people over on YouTube when we post a video that's like, are you guys selling copies of Reed's maps? I was like, sure, man. If you want a copy of Reed's map, then we can definitely make that happen. Eric will have a closer look at what happened in the National Hockey League last night with the sports update coming up just for your morning announcements. Washington lost another one. They dropped one. Big win for the Blues last night as they're trying to track down Calgary,
3 in a
Vancouver's
row,
up.
yeah. Why should they be a seller?
Yeah, I mean, they won't be.
No, but
any pipe dreams you have about St. Louis are probably going out the window. Penguins and Flyers, as we said yesterday on the Lock Shop, bet the over in Pittsburgh Philly games. The Penguins end up winning that one 5-4 in overtime. Evgeny Malkin, 4 points in that one. Vegas does get the win. They hang 7 on the Chicago Blackhawks. So a little bit of breathing room for the Golden Knights after the Oilers lose last night in regulation as well. And over in the NBA last night, Steph Curry, what a night. Tremendous night. 56 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. The Warriors get by the Magic 121-115 in Orlando. And LeBron had 33 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists. Anthony Edwards was ejected from this game for getting 2 techs. And the Lakers win 111-102. What else happened last night? The Bucks beat the Dank Nugs 121-112. The Mavs beat the Hornets. I don't know if they covered the spread, but they beat them by 7. And then the Pelicans. Zion Williamson, first ever career triple-double last night. I know he's been banged up and had some injuries. That still kind of surprised me that he hadn't pulled off a triple-double yet, but he was 27.
I'll always remember the shoe.
Night. Remember when his foot went through that shoe at Duke? You're like,
so big. Cavs Celtics tonight. And the Pistons look for their 9th straight win as well.
The Pistons have won 8 in a row?
Yeah.
Weird.
Playoff ball back to Detroit, baby.
Man, that's something else.
It's got to be.
And then, what'd you say? Who, Celtics?
Cavs Celtics.
That's
tonight.
a big game tonight.
Yeah.
That's one worth checking out.
1v2, yeah.
You should definitely spend your Friday night watching the Cavs and the Celtics tonight, if you're a sports fan. All right, the morning after show is on the way next. They played better, but they didn't play good enough. What was the downfall of the Oilers last night? Let's get into it. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Let's get to a sports update right now with Lieutenant Eric.
5 losses in a row for the Oilers as they lose in a finals rematch, 4-3 to the Panthers. Leon Draisaitl with his 7th straight game scoring. He now has 44 in the season. Zach Hyman also reaching the 20-goal mark in the loss. The Oilers wrap up the road trip tomorrow night in Carolina. Other action last night, Ducks rallying to knock off the Canucks 5-2. Utah cruising past the Wild 6-1. Lightning shut out the Flames 3-zip. Winnipeg's win streak snapped at 11. As they get clipped by the Predators of all teams, 2-1, and Vegas topping Chicago 7-5. The Golden Knights now with a 4-point lead on the Oilers for tops in the division on even games played. Edmonton Oil Kings back on the ice tonight. They'll continue their road trip with a stop in Prince Albert to take on the Raiders. That road trip will wrap up Sunday in Saskatoon. Steph Curry, 12 trays and finishing with 56 points. Warriors knocked off Orlando 121-115. LeBron James, meanwhile, 33 points and 17 boards. Lakers winning their 4th straight, holding off the Timberwolves 111-102. It'll be the Lakers and Clippers tonight in NBA action. Also, 1v2 in the East as the Cavs take on the Celtics. And the Detroit Pistons aim for their 9th straight win when they host the Denver Nuggets. The Brier starts tonight from Kelowna. Alberta's Kevin Cooey will take on Manitoba's Matt Dunstone at 7:30. The other Alberta rink led by Brad Jacobs starts play tomorrow afternoon against Yukon at 2:30. And over to the U of A, Golden Bears visit Mount Royal tonight for Game 1 of the Canada West semifinals. Top-seeded U of S Huskies will host UBC in the other semifinal matchup. Pandas hockey, they welcome in Mount Royal tonight from Claire Drake. Volleyball, Golden Bears host the Dinos from the Saville Center tonight and tomorrow. Up next, we'll recap the Oilers' loss to the Panthers with your morning after show here on The Nielson Show.
Where've all the haters gone? 'Cause he's making all the stops. Who's the guy who brought him in the press of hockey ops? He looks like a white knight.
Koskinen shutout song. He only ever had one, I think. But we had a song for that one.
We stretched that song.
Yeah, we used it.
We played it.
We found ways. We found ways to weasel it into the show. It is the Nielson Show, brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio today, where I'm sure Furby and the crew over at Popeyes devastated after the loss. But you know how you can cheer yourself up? How about 5-piece nuggets or fried pickles or mini chicken wrap or mini chicken sandwich or blackened cauliflower? Those are all menu items on the $4 snackable items value menu at Popeyes.
Valen Camus.
Valen Camus. A Valen Camus to you. Valen Camus.
Look at this, Bones. The Four Nations cost Edmonton home ice advantage.
Oh, boy. Blame it on the Four Nations. It was a great moment when it happened, but it's really screwing this hockey team right now.
Who cares?
Let's get into your morning after show. Here we go.
Being a fan of the Oilers today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to have your say? It's a morning after show where we will talk about the game and let you know who you should blame. You want a show where you will know if the problems are still the same. You want a show every morning after the game. You want a show so people know if the problems are still the same. You want a show every morning after the game.
Edmonton Oilers lose to the Florida Panthers 4-3. Your final last night. Uvis Balinskis. How about that guy Balinskis? His fourth of the year.
Hey, Balinskis.
Put the Florida Panthers on top. Kulak, seventh from Bud Colson and Klingberg would tie the game at 1. Second period goals also exchanged. Lundell's 14th. And then Draisaitl with a pretty nice effort. Holds the defenseman off. Goes top cheese for his 44th of the year. 7 games in a row now for Leon Draisaitl. And then the third period, what did you call it? A Schmidt show?
They Schmidt the bed.
Oh, they ever.
I mean, you can go on and on.
That was a really
Schmitty
performance.
Yeah.
Nate Schmidt's 5th of the year at 11:08. And then Verhaeghe, 2 minutes later, almost 3 minutes later, to put them up 4-2. Hyman would get his 20th with the net empty with over 3 minutes to go. But then a penalty after that pretty much took the wind out of the sails of the Edmonton Oilers last night. They end up getting outshot 36-27. Maybe we'll talk about the penalty kill in a little moment. Trev, who do we have for postgame? Do we have Skinner's postgame? I know the boys played Skinner last night.
Knobloch mentioned passengers, but didn't give any names.
Kulak and Skinner.
Knobloch mentioned passengers? So a fragile team with passengers on it.
Where did he...
Uh-oh.
Did you guys hear this? I felt that there were a few passengers. Some guys that just didn't put in the effort that we needed. For the most part, I think most of the guys did pretty much everything they could.
So,
but obviously he's not. Didn't name names.
Yada. Jeff Skinner scratched on Saturday.
Connect your own dots.
That's how it usually works. All right, the EST big moment that happened. What are you going to go with?
I know it didn't end up being the winner, but I'm going to go with that Schmidt goal.
Yeah,
it seemed to kind of change the psyche of the team. And again, I know Verhaeghe and then Hyman late, and maybe you can go to the late penalties as well that were called against the Oilers. And, look, perhaps there was a little embellishment from those Panthers players, but they got the calls. You can't be frustrated when teams exact and perfect the dark arts, and it works. That's just how it goes. Try doing it yourselves. But yeah, I'll go with the Schmidt goal. It just kind of changed. You did kind of feel at that point that it was maybe next goal kind of takes it. Not necessarily on the score line, but just in terms of the psyche of the game. So the Schmidt goal, you needed to have that.
Yeah, the Schmidt goal, and we can dive into that now. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. That penalty they took right after Hyman scored, though, Like, I felt, okay, Hyman scores. You
Yeah.
know, Jack always like, lots of time left in the game.
Oh, there was 6 seconds left, and he was like, oh,
like, yeah, I know. Jack always finds a silver lining. Like, I
I think they're still in it this morning. They could still pull this off.
But I thought after Hyman scored, I was like, okay, this is go get one more. And all of a sudden you've completed this 2-goal comeback and you win it in overtime and everything's back the way it's supposed to be. But then the penalty right after was just an absolute killer. So that's there, but it's tough to look away. It's tough to look past the Schmidt goal. And a number of different reasons. Hyman turns it over. The Panthers bring it up the ice. Bouchard sort of glides over. They bring it back up to the middle. Klingberg and Bouchard are both going towards the same guy. Not ideal. And then also mix and don't like Skinner should have stopped it 100%. But the reason Schmidt is open is because the Oilers' top line decided to go for a line change while the Panthers are coming up the ice. The Panthers guys come off the bench quicker, get into the play, and you can see that Oilers line that had come out at that moment hustling to go from the bench to try to get to Schmidt, who was left wide open. So, like, epic breakdowns on a number of different levels that lead to what was kind of the goal that sort of, and then the Verhaeghe goal, a shot that doesn't get through. Skinner was trying to react to the initial shot. The puck bounces past the defenseman. Verhaeghe gets it. Skinner doesn't really slide side to side. He more just reaches his legs side to side, and they just weren't long enough legs to get to that one. And Verhaeghe pumps home his 16th, which was a true backbreaker for the Edmonton Oilers last night. So a few big moments in that hockey game. Super stat of the night. What are you looking at, Rick?
Well, we mentioned the PK earlier on, and 6 for 6. It ends a 7-game run of giving up a PP goal. So something to look at there. Hyman gets 20. Draisaitl extends the streak to 7. I do believe, and I know we'll get to the 4th star, but Kulak, is this a high for him as well in terms of goals? I do believe 7. So he showed up. So a few things to point at numbers-wise, but obviously the 2 points that everybody desired was not there. That was the stat that got away.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. I mean, the one thing that I can't really look away from too much, and it's a little bit tough because one of the minuses they took was that bad line change from the top line that led to the 3rd goal. But Brown and Henrique and Matthias Janmark serve no purpose right now. None of them. Brown was -3. Janmark was -3. Henrique was -2. They only played 12 bloody minutes. Like, Trev, that line, like
one shot between the 3.
Like, those 3 guys just, I'm not sure any of them should be in the bloody lineup, to be honest with you. And they're playing on your 3rd line right now. It's, I mean, you can say, excuse me, you can say that about a lot of the forward group. But Trev, that 3rd line that they locked up and brought back and were like, look what happened in the playoffs last year. I mean, unless there is like the biggest, most important switch of all time somewhere hiding around the city that they can go switch for the playoffs. If that line can't make a positive impact in the regular season, which I'm not technically sure it has all year, how can you expect them to be your 3rd line in the playoffs? What do you do with those guys?
Oh, it feels like yesterday. Mix and match Mondays, the summer of 2024. Look at all the possibilities. Look at all the potential. You could have this line, this line. And I just remember just raving about the 3rd line because it was so good in the playoffs. It was so good. So sometimes you do see players show up in the postseason that aren't really there for the regular season. So there is that. But right now, like, it's like, in order to get to the postseason, you got to show a little bit of something, and there's nothing there. Like, there's nothing from last season. No drive, no offensive awareness, no chemistry. I don't know. I don't know what they had and where it went, but it's clearly gone now, and I don't think it'll come back anytime soon. I'm so disappointed. I know a few people have brought it up in the nasty chat today, just like the Henrique signing and, what could have been with that money if you didn't spend it on Henrique. You could have had, Holloway, but I just, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough because you want it to work, but it's not working. And like Henrique, I mean, but it's funny because I'm like, and Henrique, but then I'm just like, but then Janmark, and then I'm just like, oh, but then Brown. It's the whole line.
Yes.
So yeah, it's tough. I don't know, but I'd recommend sitting one of them. Maybe Adam Henrique. I don't think Jeff Skinner deserves to be sat again.
I mean, you could pretty much sit anybody in the bottom six.
Yeah, like if
Get
you're trying to
Savoy
send
back in against Carolina.
Yeah, if you're trying to send a message, just don't send it to one player right now. Like there's, Knobloch said passengers. He didn't say passenger. There's passengers, and that whole third line, there's a bunch of passengers. No one driving that line yesterday. So sit them all. One game. Maybe start with Adam Henrique come tomorrow.
Woo, boy.
Something.
Sit 'em
Send
all.
a message.
Sit them all.
Yeah, so sit them all, starting with Adam Henrique, and then the next game against the Ducks.
I like all of them.
Eric wants to run six forwards and 6D.
Just
like a rec league team.
Sure.
6 forwards and 3D.
sit them all.
That's it. You're running. Well, even Ekholm since the break hasn't been that good.
Oh,
That damn
He's
Four
like
Nations,
-8
eh?
since the Four Nations thing. Yeah,
he's
so
fighting it too.
Slightly concerning. 3 stars of the game last night. Lindell was first star, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Nate Schmidt was second star, and Verhaeghe was third star. Lieutenant Eric, who's your fourth star of the game?
Yes, I'll go with Brett Kulak. He was +1. He had the goal.
Kulak had a nice game.
Yeah, and with no Darnell Nurse also on the blue line, that was a late.
Like you needed Kulak to have that game, and he had that game.
Yes.
That was a positive. last
5
night.
shots and 8 blocks as well in the evening for one B Kulak. I know Gager gushes over him on a night-by-night basis, but I thought a really stout night from him. I mean, easy answer. You can go to Drysdale, I guess, as he's the one.
No,
again,
but I think Kulak
footprints in the sand. But Kulak,
I like the Kulak. I like the Kulak play on.
Pair of assists as well from John Klingberg.
Klingberg. I mean.
Not in the defensive area, but
defensive. They need to get another defenseman. They have to find another defenseman.
I wasn't trying to kind of
for sure. The 38th star of the hockey game. Now this is an interesting one. I think many people would want me to just point to Skinner, which I very well could. I liked his game through the first 2 periods. I guess that was what was really frustrating about Skinner last night was that I liked his game through the first 2 periods, and then the third goal goes in, and then the fourth goal. I know it was like a weird bounce and came back to Verhaeghe, but an NHL goaltender, I think, should probably make that save. So, but then, I mean, I guess it's hard to single out one of Brown, Henrique, and Matthias Janmark being on the ice for 3 goals against. I could just go with that entire line.
HBJ. Or BHJ or JBH.
JBH. I like those.
Do you like JBH?
I mean, personally, I don't want to see them anymore. So
no, I know.
Yeah, I don't
Get them
really
all.
want to come up with a cute name for them.
Oh, it's not cute. It's ugly. It's hard.
It is hard. I hated the 2 goals in the third period. We'll go with Skinner last night as the 38th star of the game. Yeah, and then we'll hear from him. We have Stuart Skinner, do we not, Trev? Let's hear what Stuart's got. Penner's Pancakes in the chat earlier says, don't play Skinner. People are driving. If you are driving and listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please tell your friends how easy it is to connect. And if you are watching over on YouTube, you're going to watch Stuart Skinner's postgame after a 4-3 loss to the defending Stanley Cup champions.
Out there, how did you kind of see this one play out?
Yeah, it was a solid game by both teams. I think, they're a hard forechecking team. Big bodies, obviously. They shoot a lot of pucks. Lots of guys at the net to make my job tough. And I think we started to kind of get going throughout the first period. And once we kind of found our legs, I thought we were pretty solid. Tough way to lose for sure.
You always talk about how everything has a purpose. Right now, you guys are dealing with some pretty adverse situations, longest losing streak of the season. What's it going to take to get out of this, dude?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that we're trying to figure out right now as a team. Every year kind of brings up different battles, different adversities for us, for every team to go through. This is another one where we get to kind of figure it out as a new team here. So it's going to obviously take all of us, chipping in together, talking to each other about, what we can do better. Sometimes you got to go through the crap. And, I think tonight's a really good game for us. I think the way that we just skated with our legs, we worked really hard tonight. And I think that's a big step in the right direction.
How about yourself, Stu? Where are you at mentally right now?
Yeah, I feel great. Feel good mentally. Super excited to keep playing. I was really excited to play tonight. So I feel like my headspace is in a really good spot. I'm ready to rock and roll. Whenever my number's called, and I get pretty excited to play.
It looked like you were making some key saves throughout, some pretty key movements throughout this game, and then all of a sudden it takes a deflection and it beats you. How frustrating is that to kind of battle through within the 60 minutes?
Yeah, it is pretty tough. Like, it's tough to just, they're good NHL goals. Those goals are going in on a lot of guys. I think, it was, I went up to Cal and I was like, every time they score, you just hear the post. It's just kind of their luck, I guess, for the night. Goes off guys' skate perfectly onto the post and just trickles in. Same with the first one. And, so third one. Yeah, that's the frustrating part sometimes is you're working so hard as a team and, bounces like that happen. But that also goes into the way that they play. They put so many guys in front of the net. Guys go hard at the net. They always present sticks, always present, problems for teams. So, and that's why Florida knows how to win.
This is a team that showcased its resilience time and time again. Just look at last season altogether. Is there anything that you can kind of pinpoint or lean on in terms of past experiences that you guys can maybe help propel yourselves out of this situation? Always.
When you go through stuff like this, you always kind of look on past experiences, kind of how you got out of it before. Again, this is going to take something different. But that's the exciting part. You get to learn a little bit more about yourself as an individual. We get to learn about each other as teammates and just how we're going to pull through this. And again, that creates more and more belief. And as we know about belief, it can be a very dangerous thing.
There you go. That is Stu Skinner. Let's get to your reaction on it. Let's just get to your reaction on it. Dex texts in and says, guys, it's hard to listen to this interview after a losing streak like this. Be effing mad. Library Pat says, Skinner also works for the Oilers Entertainment Group, paid to be positive. This one is in and says, Skinner doesn't sound like he hates losing, and that's a big issue in this goaltending position. So people not overly happy with how calm and cool, I guess, Skinner is.
I think he is putting it on. You know what I mean? What's he supposed to say? How do you feel? I want to.
He's got to feel worse than it comes across.
Does.
Yeah,
I think he's trying to keep himself buoyant a bit. Frustrating to hear, yes, but expecting him to kind of crumble there. And just, do
you want him crying or do you?
That's what I mean. It's.
I would say
it's a tough seesaw
Stuart
here. I get
Skinner
it.
put a relatively positive spin on the loss last night in the availability, right? I think that's probably the best way to look at it. All right, we'll get into all of this with Chris Johnston. He's going to join us for Pro Am Sports coming up just after 7:00. If you were watching over on YouTube today, I know you're all sad and down in the dumps, but there's still a good hockey team in there somewhere. We're 10 away from changing 100. It kind of feels like amateur hour with these likes today. Let's crank it up a notch. We've been at 150 we've been at 200 by 7:00 the last few days.
You played the Miko song. You're
what more do you want?
Bulls,
what do you more want from the guys? We're trying to sell a bull on the show today. If you can believe it.
We'll be giving you live looks inside the chamber for crying out loud. That should be behind a paywall.
You're going to get stuff with this show today that you won't find anywhere else in the city. So what about that? Let's crack some packs for Wayne's. Interesting discussion, though, over in the Nasty Chat right now. First of all, Big Uke just got a 60-second ban for using an SG over there.
We haven't even made through the hour. He's already at strike two.
It's 6:00 on a Friday, man. Come on now. Come on. Uncalled for stuff over there. The Skinner conversation is, I think a lot of people would have just, if he was like, I just got to have that third one.
I understand that. I can meet you there. I'll meet you there
a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think you want him coming out and being in tears and be like, "We've lost 5 in a row.
There's two.
But
big
you could also.
here.
I think the fan base and those who've reacted poorly to the Skinner availability, I think the fan base would view it a little bit differently if he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I just have to be better in the third period."
Sure. Yeah.
That probably would have helped him a little bit in that situation.
That's fair.
All right, let's crack some packs for Wayne's Sports Cards, just in that Westgate area, just north of the mall. If you haven't been there, by the Italian Center, I'd say an anchor tenant of the area there. Saturday, April 5th, You usually like this day. National Hockey Card Day.
I do.
Saturday, April 5th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Free pack of the 2025 National Hockey Card Day cards just for walking in. There's door prizes. They do their annual balloon pop. Chase the mascot will be making an appearance. Nice to see Chase popping up again.
It's a carnival atmosphere down at Wayne.
Oh, yeah, it'll be great. National Hockey Card Day is always just an absolute hoot. And there'll be a lineup at Wayne's that day. So make plans to get there early from 11 to 5, Saturday, April 5th. Also, Upper Deck Series 2 comes out next Wednesday. And I'm going to do a Wednesday break, the crack pack on release day for that. I don't think we've done any of this. This is a good starter. This is a good starter pack for kids. We have a lot of people who will text in and be like, hey, my kid wants to get into collecting cards. I know it can be an expensive hobby. How do you go about doing it? I always think Upper Deck Series 1 and Upper Deck Series 2 are like the best way to start for you. But OPG is an easy one to get into as well. It's got McDavid on the pack.
Peachy.
There you go. OPG, the classic, the OG. Trev, got one for you too, buddy. Great catch, Trev. Confidence is at an all-time high, Trev. All right, let's open up these packs of OPG. I haven't done any of this OPG stuff this year.
Peachy.
Mo Sider, Lawson Krause, Eric Holla, Matthew Joseph, Zach Hyman, 7 of Hearts.
Oh, cool.
Zach Hyman, 7 of Hearts. Maybe that's the one that gets the team going.
That was a cool
Phil
one.
Kemp, Edmonton Oilers marquee rookie.
Love it. Did
Did not see that one in the cards today. Come on.
You're on fire.
Give it to me. Give it to me. All right, who you got, Rick? You get anybody?
Yeah, well, I got the first one staring me in the face, Gustav Forsling, of all people.
Forsling, the devil.
Then I got a Vasilevsky base as well.
And I meant devil is in the devil, not a devil.
Remember Thomas Tatar?
Thomas Tatar.
There was a brief flirtation with him. I remember.
Remember
Jackson Blake, marquee rookie from the Canes.
Nice.
Logan Thompson, Capitals, but he's wearing the gold.
Those cards always blow your mind. Yeah.
And a Yanni Gourde as well.
A possible trade deadline target for some teams, Yanni Gourde. 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
Real pest.
Trev, who do you got over there, buddy? I know
First
you've been showing some.
Linus Ullmark, Jaden Swartz. I got Ivan Barbashev, Mika Zibanejad.
What? Your boy, Dylan Holloway.
Kind of the same one as yours, but Jack Eichel.
Jack Eichel, is that a king? It's up in the corner there, Trev.
It's a queen, I think.
Does it have a Q on it? Trev, do you know how to read a trading card?
It has an O on it.
What do you mean it has an O on it?
I
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh,
I mean, it has an O.
It has an O?
It's a, well,
What's that mean?
I don't know. What does yours say?
Mine says 7 of Hearts.
Oh, whoa, oh, sorry. Mine's the 9 of diamonds. I'm looking in the wrong corner.
Come on, it's in both corners, buddy. Like,
I know, but anyway.
wait, you were reading the O like in
what
the
else?
OPG?
What else you got
Yes.
there, Trev? What
Trev, come on, man.
I
Hold
play
that card up
cards.
to the camera.
I play cards.
People got to
I play
see that you couldn't
cards.
figure out it was a 9 of diamonds.
I know it was a 9 of diamonds. Because if I'm not mistaken, are they not on the wrong side here?
I mean, it's still pretty big up in the corner. Like, when I said, what card is it? And you looked at it, you're like, it's got an O on it.
Well, yeah, because I swear it's usually I always go to the right side, the top right corner every single time. And this one just had an O on it, okay?
This must be why you don't read books.
Anyway, Kiefer Sherwood. That's kind of cool. That one doesn't have a number. Kale McCarr. That's kind of sweet. Dmitry Orlov. Brady Kachuk. Jesper Bratt.
All right, there we go, Brady
I'm
Kachuk.
done. I'm leaving now.
Penner's Pancake thinks we should piss test Trev. I'm not being able to tell
Oh,
her that
come
card
on.
was the 9 of diamonds.
Sometimes
Dear
it's best.
God,
Ignorance is
Yeah,
bliss, I think.
Oh, it is.
You know,
The crack pack for Wayne Sports Cards. Go check out. Go see Wayne and Nikki, the whole crew there, just north of West Edmonton Mall in the Westgate area. National Hockey Card Day, Saturday, April 5th from 11 until 5. You're a beauty, Trev.
I thought it was a
God,
queen.
I love you.
I thought it was a queen too in the nasty chat. Looks like a queen. Yeah, it's a queen. Yeah.
How does it, what do you mean? How
see,
does it
people
look like
agree
a
with
queen?
me. People agree
Nobody's
with me.
agreeing with you. They're like politely mocking you, I think.
Nope. Trev's right. It's
Put that
a queen.
card back up. Put that card back up. Tell me how that's a queen.
It's a queen. Trev's right. Someone in the nasty chat said that. Look at that. Look at that. That is
The
a
other one,
queen.
that's an OPC logo. It says OPC on the logo.
It's a Q. Anyway.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of it. Yeah. All right. Chris Johnston's going to join us on the other side, NHL Insider, and we'll find out. I'm going to ask him, give me 15 goaltenders who are available.
Only just?
Prior to the deadline. Yeah.
I
hope he's ready for that. I see he's trying to connect. He's gonna come in hot here. Chris Johnston, I want a list of 15 possible solutions between the pipes for the Edmonton Oilers. If Chris can't give me 15 possible solutions in the crease, he's out of here. Yeah. That's
10-second ban.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right, Chris Johnston will kick off hour number 2 for Pro Am Sports. We'll get to that Hurts. We'll get to the fan zone. We'll get to that's a good for the Italian Center as well. All coming up in hour number 2. Let's get to a sports update right now for the fine folks down at Nisku Glass with Lieutenant Eric.
Make it 5 straight losses now for the Oilers. They fall 4-3 to the Panthers last night. Leon Draisaitl scoring his 7th straight game. He now hits 44 goals on the campaign. Zach Hyman as well, reaching 20 for the season. Oilers road trip will wrap up tomorrow night in Carolina. Elsewhere yesterday, Vegas topping Chicago 7-5. The Jets win streak snapped at 11. They fall 2-1 to the Preds. Tampa blanked the Flames 3-0. Utah passed the Wild 6-1. And the Ducks would rally to knock off the Canucks 5-2. 3 games around the NHL tonight. Rangers host the Leafs. Colorado at home to Minnesota. And the Kings on the road in Dallas. The Edmonton Oil Kings are in Prince Albert tonight to battle the Raiders. Their road trip will wrap up Sunday with a stop in Saskatoon. Over to the NBA, LeBron James, 33 points and 17 rebounds. Lakers winning their 4th straight as they'd hold off Minnesota 111-102. Steph Curry, meanwhile, he'd hit 12 three-pointers and finished with 56 in a 121-115 Warriors win over the Magic. Lakers will face the Clippers tonight, while 1v2 in the East when the Celtics host Cleveland. Pistons will also look to make it 9 wins in a row when they welcome in the Denver Nuggets. The Brier starts tonight from Kelowna. Alberta's Kevin Cooey will face Manitoba's Matt Dunstone at 7:30. The other Alberta rink led by Brad Jacobs will begin play tomorrow afternoon against Yukon at 2:30. And over to the U of A, Golden Bears hockey visit Mount Royal tonight for Game 1 of the Canada West semifinals. The other semifinal will see the U of S Huskies welcoming in the UBC Thunderbirds. Pandas hockey, they host Mount Royal tonight from Claire Drake. While at the Saville Center tonight and tomorrow, it'll be Golden Bears volleyball hosting the Calgary Dinos. Sports update brought to you by Nisku Glass. We want to thank EST and all the listeners and viewers. And what better way than to give them a deal? Mention Edmonton Sports Talk or present your Nasty Club membership for a 10% discount on windshields, glass, or any of your window and door orders. Call us today to get that ugly broken windshield replaced or to start planning your spring renovation projects now.
My name is Jeff.
You just made the list!
Makes my day.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Cool story, Hassel.
On the Nielson Show on a Friday morning. Thank you very much for being here. You can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers Inbox, 780-218-9999. And one of your text messages will win the A&W text of the day today. And the Stacker Burgers are back at A&W. You can get the single for $4.99, the double for $5.99, and the triple for $6.99. And hopefully you took advantage of that deal yesterday because it was game day and Mumber Burger and fries on game days, just $5. I had a dream. You always have dreams and then you don't remember them. I had a dream last night that I remembered.
Yeah? I
needed a ride, and the only person who could give me a ride to where I needed to go was Ricky from the Trailer Park Boys. I don't know what it was about. I don't know why that was tied into my dream, but I got in the car and I was trying to do Bubbles impressions to impress him, and it wasn't really... It was weird because I was trying to do Bubbles impressions, but I had a drink in my hand like Julian. And then Ricky was driving me to where I needed to be.
Julian.
It was just, I woke up and I was like, why am I dreaming about getting a ride from Ricky from the Trailer Park Boys?
Does it in Ray's old car as well? Like the old...
it was in the old beater.
Yeah.
The Bleepmobile. And in a classic dream scenario, I don't remember if he ended up getting me to where I needed to be, which is frustrating.
Well, you're still on the journey. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Like it's a never ending.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a fun dream last night. That was a good one. That Hurts is coming up for James H. Brown.
You are a rum guy.
No, I am a rum guy. So
the Julian bit.
But I didn't have any rums yesterday, so I don't know. It didn't really tie in. But yeah, I was trying to not spill the drink as Ricky's bobbling around in that garbage car. The Fan Zone for Fans First coming up as well. How do the Oilers get out of this funk? Do you have a solution? 780-218-9999. And that's a good as well. Chris Johnston, our hockey insider today, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Have Pro-Am custom frame that jersey that you have in the closet or the photo that you've still got in a box somewhere. Visit them in store to get started on your project. Located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 120th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. I can't believe it took me over an hour into the show to mention my dream with Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Well, you clearly forgot it.
I guess I did briefly, and then it came back to me. Yeah, it came back to me. All right, let's bring in Chris Johnston this morning. Chris, just to segue here, were you a big Trailer Park Boys guy when they're in their prime?
For sure. In the heyday, I love that show, which isn't to say I don't love it now. But that's why I'm surprised you had that dream. Like, have you been watching it recently?
No.
Why would that even be in your mind?
I can't think of a single thing that would have spurned on a Trailer Park Boys dream. I haven't watched them in a while. And they pop up on like the old algorithm sometimes, but I don't know. I mean, but I'm not complaining about it. Like it was a fun dream last night.
I don't remember my dreams too often, so that's a good one.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think it's also a nice way to sort of delay the Oilers talk just a little bit more, right? Just a little bit
really
more,
trying here, yeah.
Yeah, they have now lost 5 in a row. The other 3 games post Four Nations break were awful. They were at least in one last night, and then a weak goal. The third one, Skinner probably should have had. The fourth one was a bit of a weird bounce, but people in town weren't happy with that one either. How do they get out of this, Chris? What do you suggest? Is it going to take a trade to kind of shake up the group with the deadline a week away?
Well, if there's some good news, there's going to be a trade, at least one, I would think, with the deadline so close. But, I do believe, though, that the solution isn't going to come externally. Like, I don't think you're going to have some magic, morphed into the room. But, it does amplify maybe some of the pressure or expectations around what the management team can get done at the deadline. I mean, look, it's not good right now. And I don't just mean the losses, even some of the things I've heard around the team, just not a lot of pushback there. As you mentioned, last night's game certainly was more competitive than the ones that preceded it. But, it does feel like it's got to be sort of a collective team thing. I know it's not the sexiest answer, but, when you have Chris Knobloch talking about passengers after the game, I mean, we're getting to the point in the season where it's just hard to get by if that's the way things are going. And, I think it's a fascinating time to go through this kind of stretch because, the heat lamps are already on, right? I mean, every GM of a team or management group of a team that's trying to win the cup this year, feels a certain amount of pressure and expectation. But this gets to another level when you've lost 5 in a row and you're a week out from the deadline.
It's interesting because we were talking about it yesterday. Like, this is a team that started slow and then for about a 2-month stretch was the best team in the league. Like, they shouldn't need an influx of 2 or 3 guys at the deadline to find that game again. It's somewhere in that group, is it not?
Yes. I mean, I believe it is. If it's not, then I've been fooled because, I do believe in the Oilers. I've picked them to win the cup before the year, and I still feel that they're a team that could have that kind of spring. But, obviously this can't go on much longer. And, it's troublesome too, because you see what Draisaitl continues to do through all this. Like, it's not as though you can say, well, the top guys are just going through a bit of a skid. I mean, obviously McDavid, hasn't been at his best, which he's owned, but, it just feels like there needs to be more push from lower down in the group. You can't have your third line being -3 in a game. I know there's a lot of attention on Bouchard too. I mean, it just feels like they're not There just something isn't clicking there. And I do think that the happy side of this is there's some time to get it together, but it's only so much time, 6 weeks basically left in the regular season, and then back in that playoff grinder. And you don't know quite what you have with this particular team this season.
Chris, you did bring up that third line, and we talked about it when Knobloch did bring up passengers last night post-game, passengers plural. The third line's obviously one. Bouchard's been getting some reaction as of late. Do you have any other passengers on your mind from this team? We always talk about additions to this club, but maybe there could be a few subtractions as well moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how easy it's going to be to subtract, but obviously when we're talking about adding players and salary, I mean, the Oilers, like a lot of teams, only have so much of it to commit to new guys. I mean, I don't have any names to throw at you that I think are definitely going to be removed. Like, one thing we probably talked about Jeff Skinner a month or so ago in that conversation. It does seem like by and large, and I know he was scratched again here recently, but that he's maybe found some footing with the team. And so, I don't know what that looks like, how they make the money work to bring guys in. But certainly, I would expect an add at forward and still another blue line addition. And I know the big topic is about goaltending. It just doesn't seem to me that's what they're inclined to do. Now there's still a week to go, maybe a couple more games of, they might see something that, that makes them rethink that position. But at this point, again, that's what I'm saying. I don't think these are going to be magic additions. They're going to be the kind of depth and adding to the group. And really, as much as I know probably people want to hear, hey, it's going to be this big, sexy thing that changes everything. I think what needs to change everything is, you got to find a little more in your top six. You obviously got to get McDavid going. And then you need the guys in the bottom part of the lineup to be contributing better than they have certainly last night.
You quickly mentioned in there, got to get McDavid going, and we haven't talked about McDavid much. He had an assist last night. He was even again. He's been a steady minus player for over 3 weeks now. He was on the ice for a 5-on-5 goal last night, so that was the first in like 6 or 7 games. But he also he had flashes at the Four Nations where he looked like he was in a different league than even all those guys that were playing in the tournament. So, what do you think is going on with McDavid right now? This has been a really weird month-long stretch.
Yeah, and it's funny. Before that Four Nations happened, one thing someone who's been through it as a GM before said, there's always, when you have these in-season tournaments, it can be hard for certain players. Like they ramp up. It's almost like a playoff series, the intensity of what that 12 days would be like. And then you come back to the regular season, it's not quite the same thing. And then you obviously are trying to ramp up again for the playoffs. And, it's way too soon to say that McDavid is falling guilty or prey to that. But I do think it's at least a possibility. I mean, the fact that he had to play that game Saturday afternoon in Philly after the Thursday night final, I mean, that's a quick turnaround. I know how I felt, and I didn't play any games at that Four Nations, just covering it every day. And so, I'm willing to excuse to some degree probably the first couple games. I know he was tagged with a -3 and all that. At a certain point, as much as he seems like a hockey playing robot, he's not a hockey playing robot. So, I think that some of what's happened out of the break was probably a bit of fatigue just to come down from the Four Nations. But, and then there's been some time off. I mean, it's hard for me to say, but I just think, look, I don't worry about the guy big picture at all. I mean, you'd look like the biggest fool on earth if you're on here ripping Connor McDavid. But, it is hard to ignore in the short term that this has been a tough stretch. And I just wonder, going right on the road too after the Four Nations break, when was this guy last in Edmonton? It's probably been 3 weeks or more. Look at it, if you ever go on a long road trip, even when you're treated as well as NHL players are, it can just suck your energy. And so, I'm going to give it a bit more time here before we get too crazy with anything. But, clearly he's the heartbeat of the team, even in a year where Draisaitl's been the team's MVP. And, that's why I say I'm not too worried, because I think there's time to find it, but he's got to find it pretty quickly, because, you can't, a 5-game losing streak is pretty unusual for a team with cup aspirations, and obviously 6, 7, 8, you can't get into that territory. So they got to put a quick end to this year.
Chris Johnston with us on the show this morning, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. The deadline a week away. I was joking before we brought you on. I wanted you to come with a list of 15 possible goaltenders that the others could maybe add to even push Skinner. I know Stan Bowman has said that that's probably not going to happen. And then you mentioned, probably a forward. I think they have to get a defenseman. I don't know how management could assess this team right now and not want to add another blue liner. As far as positions available prior to the deadline, is there one area that's really sparse? Like there's not many and these guys are going to cost a pretty penny. I mean, is it classic right shot D-man is going to cost you an arm and a leg essentially this year again?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if you look at whatever TSN's trade bait list, the one I put out at The Athletic, I mean, there's not really a lot of defensemen available. They're certainly not impactful guys. I mean, look, there's going to be players that are kind of your classic 7/8 D that maybe contenders will pick up for 4th or 5th round pick. But, in terms of guys that you can slot into the top 6 on teams that are good, there's just not a lot of that. I mean, and even a player that we would have started this season like Ivan Provorov in Columbus on an expiring deal, you expect Columbus to be sellers. I mean, now all of a sudden the Blue Jackets are inside the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. And, at this stage, I don't expect him to be traded. And so it's a tough position. It's probably going to cost you something if you're getting, a player with any amount of chops. Center is another position that's a little tougher, although, there's a few players out there that can fill a gap. I mean, that's why I think if the Oilers get another forward, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a winger because they're certainly more plentiful. I don't think the cost basis will be quite as much. I mean, depending on how ambitious you are, how high you're swinging. But, the other thing too, is when we talk about goaltenders, there's not really a lot of goalies on the market. Like
there's not. The
conversation kind of begins and ends with John Gibson. I'm sure you've had that conversation for 6 months, 18 months, but he is a goalie that has played at a high level in the past that is available. And although, Anaheim's crept back kind of in the race too at the moment with another win last night, would come to Edmonton. I think that, he would make some sense. I mean, there's been talk about Vemelka, not Utah, but they've won 3 games in a row and they're focused on their own playoff push. Like it's a weird year. I mean, we haven't had a real trade since February 1st. I don't want to alarm anybody. That might mean that the next week's going to be crazy. But maybe it ends up just being a strange market. It certainly seems like a seller's market at this point where the teams that have anything to sell, I think, are going to do quite well because there just isn't the kind of plentifulness you want if you're looking for upgrades. And so, I think it puts teams like the Oilers, like the Leafs here, are desperate for a center, puts them in a tough spot because if you're really going to go out and buy, you're going to have to be shopping in a maybe more expensive aisle than you care to be.
Chris Johnston of TSN and The Athletic joining us. I wanted your thoughts, Chris, on Evander Kane, the trade protection from a no move to a 16-team approved trade list later today, I guess. But how do you kind of see this developing as well when it comes to the Oilers and roster management leading up to the deadline?
Well, it's a tricky situation, right? You've got a player who's doing everything in his power, who wants to play. Naturally, that's what players do. And the team has to weigh that with, okay, are you healthy enough to play in this 6 weeks? I mean, it makes a huge difference to the Oilers' cap picture and how much maneuverability they have if he's going to play even one game before the end of the regular season or not. And if you're in Evander Kane's side of this equation, obviously it's been a long time since he's played since the start of the Cup final last year. We're talking about adding players that player they could add might keep him out of the lineup, going forward, or at least bump him down in the lineup. How they navigate all that, I think is tricky. I mean, obviously his health is what's most important. But it seems like he intends to play. And so I think that if that's the case, obviously you have to keep the cap space available where you can activate him off long-term injured reserve. And, I don't know exactly how that's all going to play out. Where it goes longer term, if they end up moving him, I think probably becomes more of an off-season conversation. Although, I mean, who knows? I could be surprised if that trade protection goes away in the next week and he's dealt. I mean, I suppose anything is possible. There are teams out there with, with some ability to take on cap space right now. I know a team like Vancouver, for example, has been very popular of late, not pertaining to Kane, but just in general, teams are looking at the $9 or $10 million they have and are wondering, hey, can we filter a contract through you? Can you take one of these deals off our hands? And so, look, it'll be an interesting week because it's not a clear-cut situation. Sometimes when a player is in a spot Evander Kane is, I think he's comfortable kind of to be on the team's timeline. I think he very much is looking to resurrect his career after a long injury recovery, and I certainly don't fault him for it, but the Oilers have to manage that with their cap.
CJ, very quickly before we let you go, Rantanen, what is the latest there? What's going to happen or not happen?
Oh, this is the biggest story in the league right now. I mean, where it stands is Rantanen's camp is going to tell the Hurricanes one way or another, hey, we're willing to engage in contract discussions by the end of the weekend. And then when they get that information, Carolina has a decision to make. If it's, it's not a no that we'll never sign in Carolina, but we don't want to do this right now, the player needs more time, then they've got 5 or 6 days before the deadline to decide, do we just risk it, keep him as a rental, see where we're at in the offseason, or do we look to move him? Carolina's received a ton of interest on the player. This is a pretty unique set of circumstances all around, but there's a chance if they were to flip him that he could be traded at $2.3 million against the cap, which obviously every contender could make work. But at this point, the Hurricanes haven't engaged in those discussions. So the first shoe to drop will be him formally indicating whether he wants to basically negotiate a deal or not. He's going to be able to get more money 100% by staying in Carolina, but that doesn't guarantee he'll stay in Carolina. So, this is going to be a day-by-day breathless update situation, but I don't have a prediction just yet. It's a kind of not a normal set of circumstances. Obviously, the Hurricanes have a pretty involved owner in Tom Dundon. I'd say at this point, anything is possible. Probably the most likely outcome is he stays with the Hurricanes beyond the deadline, but the fact that that's not guaranteed makes it one worth watching closely.
That's something else. Buckle up, man. It's going to be a fun week for you guys in the insider business. So we'll catch up again soon, all right? Thanks a lot.
Right on, boys. Talk soon.
There you go. That is Chris Johnston, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. The Rantanen thing is, you know what? Let's make it that hurts. Trev, bring up that hurt. Let's get into that hurts right now for James H. Brown. Heavy hitters of injury law. If you've been injured in an accident, go to jameshbrown.com. They have over 200 years of experience in that building and a lot of dubs. They'll take care of your accident for you and get you the settlement you deserve. At James H. Brown.
It looks good in those Whalers silks.
Yeah, maybe that's what they need to do.
Go back to the Whalers.
He went goal and assist last night, right?
Yeah.
I tell you, the fact that they already don't know that they've got this guy locked up. Like when they
reflect to Tulski first before you get into the right.
What's that?
World's smartest.
Yeah,
GM
I mean, he is
Tulski.
a smart man,
and then get on with
very smart man. But I thought for sure when they gave him Marty Necas, they kind of knew that they were going to have Rantanen moving forward.
Yeah.
If he tells them this weekend, no, I'm not going to sign here, or not going to even discuss a contract here with you,
you got to talk.
I mean, that hurts.
That hurts.
You brought him in. You're like, oh, he's buddies with Aho. Like, this is going to be great. You think it's going to be, what's the saying? Peachy keen. Is that the saying?
Yes.
They thought everything was going to be peachy keen, and it wasn't. And that hurts big time. If they have to, like, would you just ride it out? Just be like, screw it. We're not trading you. We brought you in. Let's take a run at a cup. And then maybe if they go really deep in the playoffs and you give yourself a couple more months to try to get a deal done with the guy, you can still salvage it. But it's not a situation that doesn't hurt you. I mean, it hurts a little bit.
4 goals, 8 assists for Necas in 11 games played for the Avs thus far. 12 points, 11 games.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been good. He had 3 assists.
Steady.
I think 3 assists in their last game. I don't know. Kane, I know we've got a few Canes fans who listen every once in a while. Chime in, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. You bring a guy in. We talked about it forever. Oh,
Smartest GM in the world.
Carolina doesn't have, they've never had that guy. They go out and get that guy, and now a week before the deadline, after acquiring him earlier in the season, you're sitting here going, he's going to let us know if he even wants to consider staying, and if not, we don't know what we're supposed to do with him. That hurts. That is not an ideal situation.
I can't read a card, but even I would be like, okay, are you going to sign with us? If I trade for you, will you sign? Will you?
Yeah.
I'd be like, yes.
You got to have a good feeling on that, right? Like,
yeah. Like,
especially if
that's
you're the smartest GM in the league.
And they always go, oh, you can't.
Tulski.
They have ways, especially a smart guy like him.
Tulski.
I don't know.
To back channel and find out if you feel pretty good about it, right? So it hurts.
I don't know.
That situation definitely hurts the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's embarrassing.
Who somehow, let me just take a look at the, I think we've got, we'll slide into our cool bet segment here right away. Let me look at the NHL futures page. We do have trade deadline odds, by the way. Yeah, like, I'm not sure I get this. And I think a lot of people outside of this market would be like, I don't get the other one either, Dusty. But the top 2 teams on Stanley Cup odds right now are the Oilers at plus 600 and the Hurricanes at plus 650. Then you get Florida at 9-1, Dallas at 10-1, Toronto, Washington, and Winnipeg at 11-1. Vegas is plus 1250. And then you get 13 New Jersey and Tampa, and then it kind of falls off a little bit after that. So the books still view Carolina as a very much a significant contender, which they are, but I don't know if I have them as one of the top 2 Stanley Cup favorites. And the Oilers over the last 5 games don't deserve that title either. But
which org will Mikko Rantanen be on with?
That
March
is actually
8th?
yeah.
That's up there too. I don't know if you. Hurricanes are minus 417. Any other team plus 230.
Yeah, because with the trade deadline bets, it's interesting because they've got markets up right now for Dylan Cousins, Nick Robertson, Seth Jones, and then Mikko Rantanen. And Rantanen is just either he'll still be with the Canes or any other team, whereas the other guys all have some other teams listed.
Yeah.
For Rantanen, and now that Rantanen number yesterday I think was like minus 500. Now it's minus 417, so it's moving towards possibly not being on Carolina and plus 230 on other team. I just, like, with the smartest GM in the league, trade out of this situation after trading himself into this situation? Or would he just say, like, guys who are very smart want to probably ride it out as long as they can in looking smart?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he probably
Therein also falls the danger, though, of then looking stupid. Like, he could get out in front of it, known it, so this is the plan all along.
Yeah. No value on it staying at the Canes at minus 417. Seth Jones is interesting. Seth Jones is on here. He's obviously made it be known that he's not overly happy in Chicago anymore. To stay on Chicago is actually the second best odds, 3-1. Any other team than the 7 teams listed below is plus 275. So you got Chicago at 3-1, Columbus at plus 350, Dallas, where there's been some smoke on possibly Seth Jones to Dallas, that's plus 350. Florida 4-1, the Red Wings plus 750, Colorado 8-1, and then Calgary 8-1. No Edmonton as an option there for everybody who's like, they got to trade Bouchard for Seth Jones. At least at Cool Bet, it's not an option to bet on the Oilers here. I just feel like there's good value on Chicago at 3-1 that they don't trade him, because it just seems like an off-season trade to me. Does it not? Like a guy of that profile with that contract, this seems like day 2 of the draft type of trade, not pre-deadline trade. Unless maybe it's with Dallas. Heiskanen's banged up.
Dallas is the one, hey?
Yeah.
And
I think I'd still probably
boy. And
I think I'd still bet Chicago though at 3-1. But anyway, they do have these trade deadline markets up. I hope they add a few more actually between now and the deadline. But they've got Robertson, they've got Cousins, they've got Rantanen, and they've got Jones available right now. If you go to coolbet.com and click on NHL, and then there's 2 tabs. There's games and futures. Click on futures. You'll see NHL trade deadline 2025. And as Penner Pancakes in the chat says, we were going to originally go there for that, Hurts. Bedard looking very sad lately. Trev brought that to our attention a little bit earlier today. Bedard in the penalty box the other day, like just staring off into the distance.
He's never really looked happy.
Yeah.
It looked like he was going to cry. Like,
he looked very sad, didn't he?
Yeah, like so many people were talking about it, posting about it, saying, you know, someone should ask Bedard, is he okay? Because in that clip, like, and I know as a competitor, you know, he probably goes home, he's like, I'm thankful, you know, I'm playing a sport for my career. That's what I get to do. But as a ultra competitor, someone who's touted, you know, I don't think he'll be as good as McDavid, but there was that hype with him. And it's all on him right now. It's all on him, and they've got nothing going on, like nothing. This team is so bad. The future is not looking good at all.
One of the bottom 3 teams in the league again.
Gosh, and nothing to like look forward to. Their prospects aren't that great. You got Connor Bedard. That's it. All the vets that are on the team, you know, they aren't wanting to be part of this losing culture. So it's tough, and that's exactly what that showed. He's just like, man, like, what am I doing? Like, it was tough. It was sad. It was really sad seeing him like that.
Maybe he just doesn't want Jones to leave, and he's very sad, and that's why he's looking like he's going to cry in the penalty box. All right, you got the fan zone coming up. We're giving you the opportunity to have the solution here. How do the Oilers get out of this slide? How does it have to happen? What needs to happen? Is it just a Connor McDavid Superman performance? He's due for one. It's been a while. We will get into that as we work our way through the second half of the second hour of the show today. That's a good coming up around 7:50 today as well. But the fan zone is on the way next. How do the Oilers get out of this 5-game slide? And can they avoid the 0-5 trip as predicted by Reed Wilkins?
When the
bookbinder sees the future.
With his big staff, staring into like a crystal ball, hey, with a bunch of smoke.
I do like that. I think Reed would definitely buy into like some cosplay for the bookbinder.
Well, he's got the beard now going too, which really adds to the whole theater of it.
Let's get to a sports update right now for the great staff at Park Mazda. The fan zone for fansfirst.ca on the other side. What say you? How do they get out of this? Hit us up in the nasty chat. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. I know you're all doom and gloom here, but doesn't mean you can't hammer the thumbs up for the boys. Let's change 200 here as quickly as we can. And of course, you can text us at 780-218-9999. Here's your update with Rick.
5 straight losses now for the Oilers as they lose to the Panthers 4-3. Leon Draisaitl, although he'd scored his 7th straight game, he now sits on 44 goals on the campaign. The road trip will wrap up tomorrow in Carolina, as the Carolina Hurricanes last night with their Whalers Silks beating Buffalo 5-2. Mikko Rantanen a goal and an assist. Vegas topping Chicago 7-5. Predators ending the Jets win streak at 11 as they defeat Winnipeg 2-1. Tampa shutting out Calgary 3-0. Utah over the Wild 6-1, and the Ducks, they would rally to knock off the Canucks 5-2. 3 games around the NHL tonight. A big one from the Big D. Stars hosting the Kings, Rangers at home to the Leafs, and the Wild in Colorado to play the Avalanche. The Edmonton Oil Kings road trip continues tonight with a stop in Prince Albert. The road trip will wrap up Sunday in Saskatoon. Over to the NBA. LeBron James, 33 points, 17 boards. Lakers win their 4th straight, holding off Minnesota 111-102. Steph Curry, meanwhile, 12 trays. He'd finish with 56 in a 121-115 Warriors win over the Magic. Action tonight, we'll see the Lakers take on the Clippers while it's 1v2 in the East when the Celtics host the Cavs. Pistons also look to make it 9 straight wins. They will welcome in the Denver Nuggets. The Brier begins tonight from Kelowna as Alberta's Kevin Cooey will face Manitoba's Matt Dunstone at 7:30. The other Alberta rink led by Brad Jacobs will begin play tomorrow afternoon against Yukon at 2:30. Over to the U of A, Golden Bears hockey visit Mount Royal for Game 1 of the Can West semifinals tonight. The other semifinal will see the Huskies host the Thunderbirds. Pandas hockey, they host Mount Royal tonight from Claire Drake. And volleyball, Golden Bears host the Dinos from the Saville Center tonight and tomorrow. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. He can play a little goaltender.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button. Thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Place your bets after listening to the lock shop. 6 hours and 8 or 12 after only 1 year. They're like a pit stop house machine, shifting into top gear. Back to come and YouTube trip. In a short drive with wheels out to Southport Chef. Weekly afternoon just got a little bit more sweet. Ernest Salad brings the heat while Gator with the jerky meat. For everything Oilers, tune into the oil stream. And if that ain't enough, don't miss 2 guys and a walkie. If you're looking for insiders, tune in for Darren Dreger. If it's the NFL you're into, check out the coach, Herman Edwards. The Italian Center.
That's good.
I'd go to Pro and Sports every day if I could. He's on location in your neighborhood. The morning show will give you your morning wood. There are too many VIP golf show with McCord and Curtis Stock. There's so much going on Edmonton Sports Talk. This song's a year two celebration on and off the court. Hashtag City Association, it's your number one source. Standing on the shoulders of Holly and John Shore. EST's your place for all your Edmonton sports. They got it going on at Edmonton Sports Talk. There's so much going on Edmonton Sports Talk.
The bookbinder.
They got it going on at Edmonton Sports Talk.
7:36 on the Nielson Show. That is Johnston and Victoria's Year 2 song, summarizing everything we got going on here in Year 2 at EST, the place to be, static free since 23. Fort Sask Mike is in South Fort Mike, actually. I think he's the handle is here now. Remember when they said the reason for not matching Holloway was to create flexibility at the deadline? And now here we are with no flexibility and talking about moving guys like Arvidsson, Henrique, and Skinner. That hurts. He's in with a little that hurts reference as well.
It's a lifetime quest.
Yeah, it is. These bananas. Now they're old and moldy. What are you supposed to do here? The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot, and take advantage of that deal right now. If you call 780-998-7883, 780-998-7883, and use the code EST, you will get a full vehicle 79-point inspection that is regularly worth $160. You get it for nothing. You get it for free. 780-998-7883. Use the code EST. All right, the inbox is moving along nicely over in the Nasty Chat. Let's keep hammering the thumbs up for us on YouTube today. We got to pull off a Friday 300 show. I mean, come on. Let's go. We are 27 likes away from changing 200, and we'll get into a bunch of the text messages as well. It is the Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees.
They're back next week.
They are back home next week. If you want tickets cheaper than anywhere else you can get tickets, you can get them at fansfirst.ca. The question for you this morning is, how do they get out of this? It's been 5 in a row, 4 in a row since the break. How do they get out of this? Is your answer they got to make a trade? Is your answer they got to run with Pickard? Is your answer need to bench the entire bottom 6? Is your answer Connor McDavid needs to take over for a game?
Need to trade for a goalie.
You know what? I mean,
a lot of people are saying that's their answer. I'm just going to give that.
Chris Johnston just on the show said the only guy out there is John Gibson.
Sure.
So you're going to have to go pay a premium.
Yep.
Skinner's going to have to go the other way.
Yep.
You're going to try to buy out Gibson 2 years from now.
Yep.
And you're going to be starting all over.
Yep.
I think you need to get a goalie that you can come in and play with Skinner in a 1B, 1A situation. And maybe it'll get Skinner
Jack
going.
Campbell.
Somebody texted me and said, when Skinner's actually lost the net for a bit.
Yeah.
That's when he's kind of bounced back.
So
maybe they need to maybe they just need to run Pickard for 4 games.
No?
Now what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Sorry, I'm distracted by this. There's
The
butcher paper sitting in the middle of the table. Trev, you went to Acme yesterday?
Did.
Okay,
Yes.
And what is this?
Tell us what you got.
A special treat
show
from
me.
Corey the Butcher.
I haven't opened it. I don't know what's in it.
What did you get though on your list?
Oh, it smells good.
Tell the fine folks.
I got some nice steaks. It was unbelievable.
Oh, are you kidding me? Show meat. Look at this.
Shout out, Corey.
Look at this stack of pepperoni.
A little bit of pepperoni.
Look at
I'm
this.
gonna have one.
Don't mind if I do.
have one of those Here, Jeff, you want pepperoni?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you caught it too.
Thank you.
What a snap.
How do you make this stuff? Is that intestines too? Nobody
Why
knows.
don't you eat up and we'll tell you?
You like that? Dusty's laughing. You like that one?
That's such a good drop, man.
Me and my buddy say it all the time.
It's a great line.
You can use it anytime you go out for meal.
Why don't you eat up and we'll tell you? That's such a good line.
They thought they really had him. Hey,
I know.
Yeah, they.
God, that movie's so genius. I love it. All right. 7-8. Shout out to Corey the Butcher.
Corey's such a great guy. That was the first time at Acme Meat Market. Man, what a cool experience that was. I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I told my dad right after I called him on the ride home.
Because he comes from the butcher background.
Yep, absolutely. I'm like, I'm taking you to Acme Meat Market. You're going to love it. And he's like, oh, sounds good. I'd love to meet Corey the Butcher. So, yeah, shout out, Corey. This is awesome.
Couple meat mongers.
This is so good.
Tremendous steaks last night too. Thank you for that.
Did you make them and everything? Or you did?
Oh, yeah.
And you got some rubs and sauces too?
Yep.
More than just meat?
The hickory barbecue sauce.
Come on.
You get good
That's
sauce
good.
there, yeah.
Wow. All right. This is good news.
Yep.
This is terrific.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's talk about this brutal hockey team.
Okay.
You can text us 780-218-9999. Here's up over in the nasty chat as well. 15 likes away from changing 200. Big Slam Nasty says, I swear if Dostal comes to Edmonton on Tuesday and stops 48-49, I will throw the kitchen sink at him to stay here and not board the plane. Colin the Amishman says, the fan zone. They're going to lose against Carolina and then finally play better and get a win right after and then go on a big roll. Like that game against the Ducks. You come home, you spank the Ducks, and then you go and you win 9 out of 10. Like we could see that from this team, right?
Jamie Oleksiak, Yanni Gourde, Joey Decord.
Oh, is this your deadline? Is that Lieutenant Eric's deadline right there?
Seattle line 1.
How do you get out of this? What's your answer? 780-218-9999. Desker is in and says Gibson will be playing here, not Dostal, and he'll put up a 950. You know, it is in what's the status? What's health status of Gibson right now? But can you imagine 3 days before the deadline? If John Gibson plays against Edmonton and stands on his head, the fans at Rogers Place will be chanting Gibson's name as sending a message to management to acquire him.
And then on Thursday, they'll be chanting Matheson's name when the Habs are in town.
Oh, my goodness.
Is it a big week? Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. That would be interesting. All right. Is it have to be a trade? Or is there something else out there?
I think a trade would do you good. But
like what level of
getting
trade?
I don't even think it needs. That's the problem now is that fans need it to be a home run.
Yeah.
That pound of flesh. People want a feeling. I know everybody wants to ship Skinner to the sun and totally transform the roster. It's probably not going to happen. You can wish that, but it probably won't. And it will probably be some smaller type of deals that they already had originally in the planning. But I think, again, that gets done because this team, there's still a team in here somewhere, some form. You can say that they regressed a bit. You can say they're a little older, maybe perhaps a little slower, all those things. Hyman hasn't played like he did last year. There's a few people that have taken a step back. But there are some good things I still... What was the analogy you had? Was it Peter Pan or the face? You're still there.
When an old fat Peter Pan, Robin Williams, and then the little kids are like, Moose Fisher, and they're like, Peter, it is you. Like, you are in there.
McDavid will be playing better at some point. You know, guys will be playing. Bouchard will get that power play goal.
Yeah, right.
If you keep going back to the well.
Was the run from mid to late November to January when they were like the best team in the league, was that a facade?
Well,
were they? I guess they're just not that good, but they're also not this bad.
Take a look at the opposition.
Maybe they are just a team that's battling for second in the division.
Best of the worst.
That's what it is.
Best of the worst. Take a look at the opposition, and then take a look. I know the numbers will be tossed around last night as well as of Skinner's play in numbers and record against top elite competition. Not that good.
Yeah, the whole team sucks against elite competition. Yeah, but Skinner as well for sure. Dr. J is in and says, I'm not even confident they can beat Anaheim. And Chris Sadaway over in the nasty...
Ducks are 7-2-1 in their last 10. The numbers don't lie.
You know what? This is interesting. Because... So let's say they lose in Carolina, which at this point, I mean, I think you almost have to expect. But let's say they lose in Carolina, come home. If they lose to the Ducks at home next week, they will be booed off the ice 3 days prior to the trade deadline. And don't tell me they won't be. If they lose to the Ducks on Tuesday, the Boo Birds will be out heavily.
This is a tough trip against good teams.
Yeah.
There is a bit of... They
got to beat the Ducks.
But the Ducks
they have
ones,
to beat the Ducks.
Yes,
and we'll
it's a
talk about that
divisional
next week. We'll have much more time.
Yeah.
But if they don't, you know what happens here? What happens is they lose to the Ducks. If they lose to the Ducks, let's say they lose to the Ducks, they're booed off the ice. They get into the room. Leon or Connor chats with the media. They push back. It gets pissy. And then it all really starts to fall apart. Like they have to. Even if they lose to Carolina, they have to beat the Ducks. They have to.
Your best player is already hip checking the bench.
I like that.
I do, but I'm just
going
saying
to get to that with them.
It's a sign of,
yeah.
To think they don't care. And again, I know we watched the Skinner post game, but I'm sure when the cameras are off and the people are out of the room, it's not a happy place.
What say you? 780-218-9999. Orca Driver says, a step back. Nuge hasn't even shown up.
I said a leap back. I misspoke. You know my point. Tube Socks can't stand Robin Williams.
Really? He's a pretty funny guy in quite a few movies.
It's a hot take.
Rest in peace. The Bum Guy says, if they lose against Carolina and Anaheim, I guarantee a jersey is on the ice during the Let's not go there. Let's not go there. We're not going to go there. Ace 96 says Oilers management just hates to admit that they were wrong. So they will go with both Knob and Skinner through. Listen, Ace, I know you've had some hot takes on goaltending for sure.
No,
justifiably,
he's
a lot of them.
Spiking the ball this morning.
But not this. We're not having a Knobloch conversation, right? Like you guys, they're not like just stop that. And I don't think Knobloch's pushed a lot of the right buttons since the Four Nations, but they're not firing this guy. Stop it. It makes you look like an idiot. I'm sorry. They just hired him last year. You're not firing a coach right now. Like we can talk about the goaltending and trading for a goalie, all justified. We can talk about having to acquire a defenseman, not Dermott and not Klingberg. That's justified. We can talk about adding sandpaper to the bottom six. That's justified. We can criticize, Savoy coming out and Arvidsson staying in or whatever. We can criticize Knobloch. Justified. But you jump the shark in this whole conversation when, as a city, there are some of you being like, time to change the coach again. Like, that just makes the entire market look like a bunch of stupid idiots. They're not changing the coach again, nor should they. So stop with that garbage. That's just dumb.
Mark's sports video says it's not just one coach. There's at least 3 or 4 more behind him that should be looked at.
Like there's some people saying blow out the staff.
The fan zone.
Knobloch's been hired here for how long? 15 months? You're going to give him 15 months? Now already some of you are firing the guy? Every time a team, like, first of all, it's the first time they've gone on a 5-game losing streak under him. Mm-hmm. The moment a team goes into a slide for 5 games, you can't fire a coach you hired just last year. Stop it. Stop it. Go to your room. Go to your room. Oh, do you want some ice cream? I'll give you some ice cream. Go to your room. Go to your room and stay there until I tell you to come out. Like, you cannot, we're not having that conversation. Okay? I technically think it would still be a stupid conversation even to have in the offseason. But if they don't get out of the first round or something and you want to have it, then have it then. But you're not having it now. I almost SG'd. I almost said it. I almost said you silly, you know what? But I didn't.
Excellent use of jump the shark, Dusty. The fan zone, library pad.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You didn't SG, but you jumped the S.
I don't mind J and the S. I don't mind J and the S. All right, that's the fan zone for fans first.
Juan says,
Bye,
Joel
fans,
Quenneville, come on down. Oh, my God. Take a snap into that pepperoni.
I don't care if I'm eating intestines or whatever it is. All right. Let's get into that's a good. If you're looking for something for dinner this weekend, why not visit the website of the Italian Center? And it'll take you on a journey to old Italy. Oh, boy. Very first picture on their website today is a bunch of delicious-looking donuts. You've done it again, Italian Center. I will see you at 1:05 later on today. This is a great line. More than just a grocery store.
Yeah.
Cozy up with these recipes. That's what I was looking for. So if you go to italiancenter.ca, first of all, great website, and then you click on recipes, there's like hundreds of recipes in here. You can just scroll through. There's multiple pages. You slide through, and look at this one. It says pizza 3 ways. What is this, a Gordon Ramsay contest? Pizza 3 ways? Unbelievable. But you can do all this at the Italian Center. Here's where I wanted to go for that's good today. Leon Draisaitl showing some emotion leaving the ice. I don't care if it was directed at some. I know some people are like, he was yelling at Skinner.
Well, they freeze. If you freeze frame it, he turns his head around and he's looking. And Skinner's the.
Did you see this, Trev? End of game.
I like stopping videos. That's like one point, and it's like, oh look.
But if you watch Skinner after, kind of looks at one of the other guys, almost like, was that look at me? Like, but I don't care. Like the team needs to show some emotion. And their post-game availabilities from last night, not really there. What did Knobloch say? Some passengers.
Passengers.
So there's been a fragile drop from Knobloch this week. Some passengers from Knobloch this week. But man, is he still a chill dude? You know, like you don't see a ton of them. Some of the words are interesting. You don't see a ton of emotion. Skinner's availability last night almost put it all in a positive light, which I think in this situation frustrated fans. But at least Leon, who should be frustrated because he's still bringing it. And I loved seeing him slam the gate last night when he was pissed off losing last night's hockey game. And during this slide, I don't think we've seen enough of pissed off guys for losing hockey games. So that's a good Leon Draisaitl
for the fans
being pissed off
for the fans.
Let's see more of them. Let's see more of it. And you know what? It was Chris Johnston said something. And I'm like using this little pepperoni stick as like a pointer.
I like this. Yeah.
They said something earlier today. Go to your room, everybody. He said earlier when we were talking about Connor McDavid, and he said, even though Leon's having a great season, Connor McDavid is the heartbeat of this team. And it made my ears perk up like one of those elves in the Rings movie. I don't know if Connor is the heartbeat of the team this year. Like Leon Draisaitl, to me, has been the heartbeat of this team this year. Trev, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like
heart, I get it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I just feel like this season, this is more Leon's team than Connor's team. And maybe that's why they've been struggling, because Connor just hasn't taken over games lately. And the fact that we're even having this conversation. But Trev, do you think it's an unjustified statement? Like when he said a heartbeat of the team, I'm like, actually, I think Leon's the heartbeat of this year's team.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory. You know, at the end of the day, like I still think, you know, this is, despite whatever McDavid may be doing, may not be doing, he is the captain. Whether or not Sidney Crosby had the best years sometimes, like it was always without a doubt, he was the heartbeat. He was so, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like I definitely, I buy into that, but I still think at the end of the day, he's the captain. When it's all said and done, he's the guy that speaks, you know, and everyone listens to. I think Leon, though, like for sure, more than any other year, he's probably the voice more than any other year, I'd say. Just because he has been just destroying everything and everyone out there.
Yeah.
So, I buy into that a little bit. Yep.
You know what? If Connor's the heartbeat of the team, then Connor's got to get going.
For sure.
And get this team back out, get them out of the doldrums. I mean,
who performs CPR? They need to get out those.
Clear. Yeah. Like offensively this year, they've kind of been a two-man team, and right now they're a one-man team. Like Leon Draisaitl scored in 7 straight games. McDavid has 3 assists, I think, in his last 4. But those aren't Connor McDavid numbers. You know, and if there's something that is limiting his ability to be as special as he usually is, then sit him for a game or two. Like, let him rest up for a little bit. Give him a week. Like, they're going to be a playoff team. I know some of you right now be like, I don't know, Dustin. They're going to be a playoff team, okay? Make sure Connor's right come playoff time. All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Hey, guys, if you talked about the brutal line change by our top 2 players coasting off on the 3rd goal, Florida's guys came off the bench like they were shot out of a cannon, zipping past our players, and then the 3rd line gets a -1, and we need to trade Skinner. Crazy. Shanked one. Yeah, you know what? I did hit that right off the top. That 3rd goal last night, essentially summarized everything that's been going on with the team in a number of different ways. Turnover by Hyman. Comes up the ice. Bouchard and Klingberg magically are on the ice together. Not sure what that was. They don't play it properly. The top line makes a horrible line change. You see as Schmidt is wide open for the shot that should have been stopped by Skinner, which also ties into what's been going on lately. You see that third line coming over the bench and trying to skate as fast as they can to get there to Schmidt, but the only reason they're late getting there is because of a god-awful line change by the top guys. So, yeah, shanked one. We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Guy in a loader says, Oilers 101 with Professor Pepperoni. I love it. That's you.
Yeah, I guess that's Professor Pepperoni. I've always wanted to be a professor. Yeah. I'll take that handle. I haven't even got into that jerky yet. That pepperoni's too good. Scalding Gord says the Oilers' problems are clearly Chris Jones' fault for not starting Trey Ford.
Was that a text?
That's a text.
Beautiful.
Scalding Gord, that's a pretty good text. He's been on fire today, actually. He's got a couple good texts in there. Nice work, Scalding Gord. Could win the A&W text of the day today.
Pizza 3 ways.
Yeah, there's a lot of good texts that have rolled in there. This one's in. It says, the team's up or down performance generally matches that of McDavid and not Draisaitl. Draisaitl is a dog this year, but it will always be McDavid's team. Guys, Connor still is in the sense that when Connor plays bad, the team loses. Leon plays well, but it doesn't seem to matter. Bones is in and asking, is Fragile and Passengers Knobloch's version of an SG? Like that's as vulgar as he will get. Matt at the Garrison says these Knobloch haters sound like a bunch of SGs. Ryan is in and says the one that looks like an idiot is Knobloch. Does he not know how to make lines correctly? Seeing the same thing that happened last year with this team. Yeah, but when last year? What are we talking about? They went to the Stanley Cup final, Game 7 last year.
And he was...
So you're talking like earlier in the season, pre-Knobloch.
Some of the knob adjustments that he made, we were fawning over. That was the thing.
Yeah. I thought he pushed some pretty good buttons this year. The Arvidsson love and the Skinner hate has surprised. Like that's been a weird one to me. But he's done a lot of other pretty good things this year. And look, man, we were talking about it for the month of December and January. They at those times they looked better than last year's team. And now they're going through something that they're going to have to get out of. I don't like the fact that it's the second time it's happened this year. Like at the beginning of the year, they went through something that they had to get out of.
They're not going to win.
Now they've allowed it to happen again, which is like, you didn't learn the lessons from October type of thing.
You know, this is moist man, I think, right here. This happens every year. There are one or two teams like the Caps and Jets who peak during the season and get eliminated from the playoffs early. The Oilers seem to have ups and downs every year, but they peak at the right time, playoff time. That's all that matters. My concern level for this team is 0.
Nice. The moist man. Let's wrap this segment with that.
Not a great take for a sports talk radio, but
not a great handle either. Moist is a weird word.
But
the moist man
better
says
than moist men.
0 concern.
Yeah, 0
concern.
This is all
time.
going to script. And if you're doing again, when they release the DVD set, you know, these are the chapters of the DVD. We're like, oh, and a lot of fan, and people didn't, and then they rise from the adversity. This is all part of the script. You need these. You need the downs to in order to go up.
Be more like the moist man.
Yes, get moist.
That's the message. Yes, get moist. All right. We've got an interesting third hour. Beer of the week around 8:30. And then Glue Guy is at a chamber event this morning.
Yeah. We get the inside.
We're in the chamber. He's at something that they're calling Coffee with the Chamber. I don't know if it's secret, like a secret word for something else, but he's gonna join the show from the event, and we'll get our first glimpse inside this Illuminati-like world of the Chamber of Commerce.
Bohemian Grove written all over it.
I don't even know what that means.
You give it a Google. And,
okay. I'll have to.
But it's an
EST
exclusive. I mean, we are going in. We're taking you inside.
I guarantee there are no other shows in the city today that will be going live briefly from the Chamber of Commerce Coffee with Chamber event.
Not a chance.
It's just us because we're in.
Boys too. Mike, the Michigan fan, is bringing in more smoked goods today. He made bread out of Alley Cat 6 o'clocker lager.
I didn't even know that was possible. Can you get drunk off this bread?
Well, you'll have a good time.
Have all the bread ever.
And 100% of the staff will eat it.
And
Well,
Sobeys.
the test is on. Hey, I mean, after
beer of the week.
does he
Well,
crack?
It doesn't crack. There's no way he's cracking.
There's no crack.
Beer of the week and then the beer
week,
bread. And
beer bread.
chamber visit. Really good third hour.
I love Fridays.
And thank you, Corey.
And more of your
Trev for
complaints.
delivering
Yeah,
it.
Trev, thanks for being a show meat mule.
The meat mule.
of course.
He's the meat mule.
Very good, guys.
Trev,
Very funny.
smuggling
okay?
that meat into the show today.
Yeah.
Love
Good
you,
thing,
love you.
they used that butcher's
Love you,
paper.
Trev. Text Trev right now, actually, if you want to play kind of easy trivia. We've got a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. I met with somebody yesterday who said when they heard my live read of Mr. Mike's, they wanted to go. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You can taste it when you see it.
Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's is coming up next. If you want to play, text Trev right now, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Text Trev, let him know you want to play kind of easy trivia. Gift certificate to Mr. Mike's is up for grabs. Beer of the week. Actually, we need some questions for 3 questions too many as well. Let's get into a fun little Friday vibe here for the third hour. Like, come up with some good questions. Sports questions. I'd prefer non-sports questions. Life questions. Interesting questions.
Bread.
Lakers questions. It doesn't matter to me. 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. Put your questions in the nasty chat. And when you're there, hammer the thumbs up for us as well. It's the Nielson Show coming in from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. If you want to play kind of easy trivia, text Trev 780-218-9999. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. Beer of the week. Marmot Basin Snow Report. Glue guy sneaking in or being invited in now, I guess, to the chamber meetings. And the rap for William Huff. Don't go anywhere. Third hour should be a lot of fun. And don't worry. More complaining about the Oilers as well. Let's get to a sports update right now with Lieutenant Eric for Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Oilers road trip will wrap up tomorrow night in Carolina against the Hurricanes. Oilers losing their 5th straight last night, 4-3 to the Panthers. Hurricanes last night victorious over Buffalo 5-2. Mikko Rantanen with a goal and an assist. Vegas topping Chicago 7-5. And the Jets, they have their win streak snapped at 11 with a 2-1 loss to the Preds. 3 games around the NHL tonight. The Rangers host the Leafs. The Kings visit the Stars. And Colorado will host Minnesota. The Edmonton Oil Kings, their road trip continues tonight with a stop in PA to take on the Raiders. That trip will wrap up Sunday in Saskatoon against the Blades. Over to the NBA, LeBron James, 33 points and 17 boards. The Lakers won their 4th straight, defeating Minnesota 111-102. Steph Curry, meanwhile, 12 three-pointers. He had 56 points in a 121-115 Warriors win over the Magic. Tonight, Lakers take on the Clippers, 1v2 in the East when the Celtics host the Cavs. And the Detroit Pistons also look to make it 9 wins in a row when they host Denver. Montana's Brier starts tonight from Kelowna as Alberta's Kevin Cooey will take on Manitoba's Matt Dunstone at 7:30. The other Alberta rink led by Brad Jacobs. They'll begin play tomorrow afternoon against Yukon at 2:30. Over to the U of A, Golden Bears hockey visit Mount Royal tonight for Game 1 of the Can West semifinals. The other semi will see the U of S hosting UBC. Pandas hockey welcome in Mount Royal tonight from Claire Drake, while on the volleyball court, the Golden Bears will host the Dinos from the Salvo Center tonight and tomorrow. Sports Update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Gadget can gauge it. Maybe it's Bubba to Kuban to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tie of fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the Canes? Macramella, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving person, does he go forth? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And there's nothing you can do about it. And there's nothing you can do about it. There you go. That's What Say You, AM Nasty Crew on a Friday show. Hangout coming up from 9 to 11 today. We'll have the Lock Shop. We'll have the Oil Stream today from 12 until 1. EST afternoons from 1 until 3. And then the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6 to wrap up another week of the best sports content in the city, bar none. And you should enjoy what we're bringing down the pipe today. Lots of good text messages rolling in. Well, I don't know about Pat here. Hey, this Pat. 2 out of 5 gets you a win on Kind of Easy Trivia, right? We're still going back to yesterday, please.
Baby, people don't forget, eh?
Hey, speaking of yesterday around here, how about Brundon doing that Rubik's Cube so quick? We nicknamed him Cube.
I thought,
Cube, what's up?
I've seen people solve those things, but the speed in which his hands were moving.
He's a savant.
And then he wasn't even looking at it at one point. He was like having a conversation over there and doing the cube over here.
He's found his thing.
What a talent.
This is his thing. He did. Yeah, it's very impressive. I don't know how those guys do that. I would love to learn, but I don't want to put the effort in to learn, you know?
He's got a beautiful mind.
He's a very smart guy, I guess, apparently.
Like Russell Crowe in that
He could
movie.
be the GM of the Carolina Hurricanes. Smart boy. Smart boy.
Just start calling him Tulski.
Hey,
Tulski, get in
Tulski
here.
the Cube. What's up, man? Anyway, he should be in soon, and when he comes in, I'm going to yell, Cube, when he comes in. 780-218-9999. If you have any questions for 3 questions too many today, pass those along. Beer of the week. We're going to be chatting with Ryan, the CEO and founder of Screaming Retriever Brewing down in Calgary. He's going to join us virtually, but we have the beer. We located the beer yesterday.
Correct,
It's all good to go. We always worry when people drop off beer like a couple of weeks out. We're like, I don't know if it's going to survive
It's a
until
risky
beer of the
game.
week.
Yeah.
But apparently we did manage to make sure Phrase didn't take a ton of it. and-
Gager just
Yeah, Gager's
rolling
just
around,
waiting.
prowling.
We need to put a camera on the fridge over there.
Yeah.
And that's how we catch everybody. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Nielsen Show brought to you by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. They got a bunch of demo vehicles on, which is nice. I mean, there's not many kilometers on these things, and you can get them at a pretty good price. So if you're looking for a new ride, Southport Chevrolet, they'll look after you. www.southfortchev.com. You can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Buy now. Do not pay until 2026. West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park, and St. Albert Center at all of your Paris Jewelers locations. 22 of them actually across 4 provinces. Trev, who's playing Kind of Easy Trivia today? Who do we got? Who are you talking to over there? Like, Trev's just talking to people in the corner by himself. You okay, man?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
We've got Sobeys Kirk playing today.
Sobek.
Where'd that come from? I like it.
I don't know about him. I don't know about you either. I don't know.
Sobe Kirk playing today. All right, let's go to Sobe Kirk. It's Sobe Kirk, right? Is it not Sobe? Is it Sobe Kirk? Sobe Kirk?
Well, I said Sobeys Kirk, and he was like, "Yeah, that works."
SK.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to S. Kirk.
Silly Kirk.
He's going to play Kind of Easy Trivia today. Needs to get whatever. and I'll just give it to him. All right. Yeah. Are you ready to stake your claim at Mr. Mike Sobe Kirk?
Yeah, I am.
Good. 2-course steak dinner for just $39.99. Emperor Caesar salad, a rustic onion soup, béarnaise butter on a 7-ounce sirloin steak. Yummy. Very yummy. Mr. Mike's, eat locally, enjoy casually. All right, I've got 5 questions. You need to get 3 of them correct, or everybody get mad at me if I give it to you. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
All right.
Ready.
Trev, you got that ticker ready? Yep. Okay, here we go. Trev will start the ticker after I read the first question. Don't blow it. Question number 1. Did the Edmonton Oilers win last night?
No.
Which Oiler has scored in 7 straight games?
Leon.
How many straight games have the Oilers lost?
5.
What team does Luka Doncic now play for?
The silly Lakers.
Which player has scored the most points in NBA history?
That other silly guy in the Lakers.
Ah, you got it.
LeBron.
He got it. Give it to him. Give it to the guy. And he got it.
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a paddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Ooh, you better believe that's a paddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a paddling.
The first year we took it to the limit.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Sobekirk, big association guy.
Big Lakers guy.
Nailed it. If you're watching over on YouTube today, let's change 300. We're at 223. Hammer the thumbs up for us today, and we appreciate you. We'll love you for a long, long time.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb.
That's the bookbinder. He has a show every day from 3 to 6 right here.
I
at
do like
Edmonton
the
Sports
laugh.
Talk.
It's got to be Milne.
That's Milne in the background,
The
yeah.
laugh really makes it too.
Yeah.
Dresses it up. There's a little depth to the clip.
Oh, it's a fun show. If you haven't checked it out yet, I think you'd like it. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today for Park Mazda. Do you have a liner for this segment?
Yes, I do. 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. You can check them out online at parkmazda.ca. Right now, out in the park, let's just see here. You can choose Mazda iActive all-wheel drive, 2.9% purchase financing for 36 months, and you can get up to $2,500. See, you try to read a deal on the website, and already Jessica's like, I'm online and happy to help. How may I help
What's up, Jessica?
That is the assistance that you get, but you also get a $2,500 Mazda bonus on select 2025 CX-70 and CX-90 models. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. And as mentioned earlier at around 7:30, Mitch has been known to play a little goal. I think they could probably add him and still make the cap work.
I think that's a good idea. Do you have a Twitter account?
At Lieutenant_Eric. Where I've retweeted the Birmingham Barracudas with an interesting tweet this morning at Beham Barracudas.
What?
Matt Dunnigan, you know him from the CFL and TSN. He tweeted out a couple of new profile pics.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. The Barracudas would beg to differ.
Oh.
They prefer a different version of one Matt Dunnigan, but yeah.
All right, so you can find that. I see Jules and Pat. I just want to quickly address this, saying that Kobe was better than LeBron. That's just a horrible take. It's a horrible take. Like, Kobe rode shotgun with Shaq to 3 titles. Let's just start there. He has 1 MVP. He was 16-6 head-to-head against LeBron in their career. And LeBron is ahead of him in every statistical category. I mean, it's not even close. It's a ridiculous, unjustified conversation. I'm not going to waste any more time on it. All right, let's get into question number 1 today. No boy. There's some more entertaining questions coming, but we will answer this one. How much do you guys think Evander Kane helps this group if he can, in fact, return?
It's a misleading question, because if he can return, does that suggest that he's at what level of health or wealth is he possessing if he can return?
Nobody knows.
Right. So I don't know. Like let's.
Like, I know remember he was on the ice like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
was like but I haven't heard anything about him.
It doesn't mean I'm going to be making
skating,
an impact.
and like I haven't heard him regularly skating anywhere yet. It's the end of February. Like, and this whole they're on Evander's timeline thing is BS. Like, if Evander Kane wants to be a part of a championship team, and he's like, hey, I can come back April 10th, and the team's like, wow, we'd really not like you to come back until about April 18th. Well, then just make it work and don't come back till April 18th. Like, if Evander Kane is going to force himself into 4 regular season games and completely screw the Oilers cap situation, he's not helping the team in any way. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. None of this makes sense to me.
No.
And what's his trade protection changes today, right?
The full no trade
March 1st.
expires tonight, I guess.
It's a 16-team no trade list?
Yes.
But here's the thing. Who's going to want to trade for Evander Kane?
Well, as Chris did point out, too, there's a money thing out there if a team wants to take on, or
take some of it, just go like bury him somewhere.
Something like that. But
yeah, I don't know. I just
the question again was, what does
how much do you think Evander Kane helps the group if he can, in fact, return?
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting a prime guy that doesn't need to get any track behind, like, of course, if everybody is thinking of the Evander Kane that they like to keep hidden in their memories, And that's fine. But I just don't think you're going to be getting that anytime soon, if at all.
Can you imagine though if he does if he doesn't come back into the playoffs and they can add a couple pieces prior to the deadline with his LTR space, and then he comes back, and has enough juice and isn't rusty enough to actually be more of an impact player than their current bottom six, which it would not take a life. He doesn't have to play that well to play better than the Henrique line. He doesn't have to play that well to be better than whoever they're running through the fourth line. But I just don't know why they would be in a spot of. Well, they have to wait and see when he's going to return. If he's not returning to April, then fudge the paperwork a bit, and he doesn't return until the playoffs in mid-April. This whole thing just comes across as two disjointed sides here, and that's not ideal.
Jason says, I agree that stank is ripe with this Kane situation. JKB says Kane is collecting his paycheck without having to go to work. He's living the dream. Why would he want to change that?
I don't know how this plays out. I have no read on it. I have no idea, but I just know that the Oilers get significantly hurt if Kane comes back April 2nd. And if they're really damaged if he goes, well, I don't know when I'm going to be able to play, and they get screwed on the cap at the deadline. Just say, I'm not even practicing with the team yet. I'm not going to be able to play by mid-April or until mid-April. Go fill that cap space. It's a ridiculously disjointed, unnecessarily situation right now. So I'm just assuming he doesn't play until the playoffs, because that's what most teams would do in this situation. I don't understand why he would play before the playoffs. It makes no sense to me. So in my opinion, they'll be operating pre-deadline like they have that LTIR space. But we don't know. Question number 2. I can't remember who this came in from, but it's an interesting one. Guys, what would 8-year-old you say to you? And what do you think 80-year-old you would say to you right now? To, you at your current age, what would 80-year-old Eric say to you? And what would 8-year-old Eric say to you?
You're thinking I'm getting to 80?
Yeah, I know. I was just like, man.
That's right.
My 80-year-old self would look at me and go, amazing.
Like what's midlife or mid-age to you? Like,
to me,
what I mean? Everybody always
like,
thinks 50's half of 100. So when you're 50,
I always feel that. Maybe I'm a unique case where I don't feel like I've aged and stuff like 25. I still act the same. Yeah. But I think 45 to 60 sort of mid-age.
60?
Like your 50s, 45 and through your 50s.
You're going to live to 120.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes
you never know what technology. Elon going to Mars and stuff. You just don't know.
I did stumble upon, I was going through some old school stuff, way back elementary school. And I still remember doing this because of my weird memory. But the task was to draw a picture of yourself. I think it was in grade 3 of what you would be like in 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So I drew a picture, and then it was all of these, what would you tell your, and all this stuff, and what you're doing, and all this stuff. Yeah, I found it. It's pretty. It's kind of. It's one of those time capsules. Time capsules are great.
What did it say you were doing? Would you be doing?
I was playing. I played university football for the U of S Huskies.
Of course.
Beyond that, it was just whatever.
Well, then you would play for the Riders.
See where that takes me, and away you go. But I like that stuff. I like that. I like just. Me and my buddy one time when we were younger in the South Saskatchewan and Saskatoon, we wrote all of our personal information on a piece of paper, put it in a bottle, and tossed it in the river.
Did you ever hear anything?
No. But I mean, it's wild to think, eh?
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Writing down all that and then revisiting
You didn't put
it later.
your SIN number in there and stuff.
No, I didn't.
Because imagine if somebody else is living your life because they found this bottle later down the river.
But that'd still be pretty cool. Time capsules. We should do a time capsule here, an EST time capsule.
I think an 8-year-old me would be like, wow, you get paid to do this. And an 80-year-old me would be like, wow, I can't believe you got paid to do that. That's probably what it is.
Yes, because when we're older, these jobs will all be extinct. They'll all be run by the algorithm and the AI. And
who knows? Maybe we are AI.
The Gronk.
Maybe they've AI'd us. All I know is that when I'm 80, I want to be in an old folks home with all my buddies from the Wandering Cone Hockey League, and we're just making trades all the time. That's my end dream.
You're going to
That's,
get that downtown office space you've been dreaming about. Hey,
yeah, but it's a home.
But it's a,
It's a home.
and the people working there continue to tell you it's a downtown office space, and you're fine with that.
Let's get to question number 3. Jen is in, and she says, it's National Public Sleeping Day. Have you guys ever fallen asleep in public, and what was the response like? I used to fall asleep in public all the time.
Well, you like going to theaters for a quick snooze, don't you?
For about 2 years, I would probably go once every couple of weeks and sleep at the movie theater while a movie was on. It was dark. They're not busy on weekday afternoons. I didn't have to go home. The babysitter was there, so I could actually, because when I went home, the babysitter would leave, and then I have the kids, and I wouldn't get a nap. So I'd go to the theater, nap, and then get up, feel great, and be home by like 3 o'clock and go into super dad mode. So that was kind of, I like those naps. I like sleeping in public.
Who hasn't passed out in a public park? Right?
No, actually, I don't think I have passed out in a public park. Yeah. Trev, have you passed out in a public park?
No. No, I have
So
not.
it might just be you that
It's
passed
a
out
rite
in a
of
public
passage, you know, pit parties and all that. And
I passed out between 2 garbage cans outside of 7-Eleven, and the Godfather saved me in the middle of the winter.
That's a story. That Godfather.
That was a little bit different.
And didn't he have to try or find which seven?
No, he knew. It was the one by Cook County. And I had a pizza
He
sub.
knew.
I was holding a pizza sub like it was the Muds as a baby. And I was just like, he woke me up. He's like, hey, man, came to get you. I was like, oh, thanks, Troy. This is great. The Godfather's coming over today with the boys this afternoon. We're going to hang out for a bit.
That'll be good.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Is he going to pop by here too beforehand?
I don't know. I don't know, but him
Friday visit from the
and
Godfather.
my nephews are coming over, and Marshall's already fired up for the game because we always play me and Marshall versus our nephews, and it's vicious battles, boys. So Marshall's like putting on the eye paint today. He's
Nice.
He's ready to go. Trev, what's the weirdest place you've fallen asleep in public?
Okay, I don't know, because one's actually a confession, so I think I'll maybe hold on to that and say
Yes.
But for sure, the only other one I can think of was last year on my birthday. I fell asleep on a bench in downtown Edmonton.
At night? Like
Yes.
after the birthday evening kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's close to a park. There'd be a bench in a park.
Yeah, it was right
good.
by the LRT.
Okay.
Like the Bob and Doug statue type. Just kind of
Yeah.
sitting there. And,
Yeah, not far away from there, honestly.
I fell asleep at a Motley Crue concert one time. That was an interesting one. The 2 ladies woke me up, and I wasn't even drinking. I was just tired. I just fell asleep because we'd been
on your feet though, or like you were sitting.
Oh, no, I was sitting.
Yeah,
I was sitting. I was in the old building here. I was working in Fort Mac at the time, and it was the what they call it, like the White Trash Tour or something. It was like Motley Crue as the headliner. Papa Roach was there. Buck Cherry played, I think. And a buddy and I came down. And I think I might have interviewed for my job at 1260 that day. Like, it'd been a long day. Like, I'd done the morning show up at Fort Mac, drove down, did the interview. Then we went to the White Trash Tour, and I fell asleep when Motley Crue was on. Then we got back up, and I had to be back in Fort Mac to do the morning show at like 5 a.m. the next morning. So as soon as the Motley Crue concert ended, my buddy K fell. He drove, and I kept sleeping in the car on the way back up to do the show the next day. So that was probably the loudest place I ever fell asleep.
It was the Papa Roach that probably.
No, I
put you
like
to
Papa
sleep.
Roach.
Yeah.
One step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break.
God.
Is that him? That's Papa Roach, isn't it? Everything you say to, or is that Linkin Park?
Linkin Park.
What's the one Papa Roach one?
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
What'd you say? My last one?
Cut my steak into pieces.
Oh.
This is my last good fork. It'd be like
I've never heard that
a
one.
Weird Al take.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
No, they suck.
I like that song.
Yeah.
It came out like, I don't know any other Papa Roach song.
They had a
but
few other-
Suffocation, No Breathe. Like,
Yeah,
that was a good
yeah.
song. I like
They
that
were
one.
disturbed.
What do you mean?
Well, like they were emotionally, like they were.
Oh, I thought you meant some of their
they were
bands
sad.
band members were also
No. Yeah,
disturbed.
Dave Draymond. Yeah. Saw Papa Roach open for Powerman 5000 and Korn.
Really? Never heard of
Pretty good build.
Never heard of Power Man 5000.
Rob Zombie's brother. And they were
What?
all
What a twist.
they were all from a different planet. Like they were spacemen in a ship that was traveling, and it kind of went off course. And so they're performing because they.
It's like the astronaut Jones bit with Tracy
It was
Morgan.
pretty good.
On
Like,
SNL.
yeah, weren't around long, but.
Papa Bear says public transit, the obvious answer.
Well,
a kind person once woke me up at the U of A
fell
bus
asleep
stop.
in an airplane, right?
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
I mean, you sleep
I fell asleep on
airplanes.
an airplane and
That's
dropped my
public.
hat on that baby
That's
on the way back
that's
from
right,
Boston.
too. Yeah.
trying to think other public places I've fallen asleep. I usually, if I go get a water massage, I fall asleep during that. And then they have to wake you up.
Yeah, yeah. Waiting rooms and stuff. I mean, I almost fell asleep at the dentist once.
Really?
Because you're laying there, you're late. It's the afternoon.
makes
It's
sense.
usually nap time type of deal. You're kind of like, and the lights getting in your, like that bright. So you're just you kind of drift off a bit.
All right, keep them coming in. 780-218-9999. Bone says, I slept in a hedge outside a country barn. Red Deer. Yeah, but I think there's a difference here between passing out and falling asleep.
Well,
right?
but you're
I think
still
so.
resting.
I guess you are still getting. Do you get to that good sleep? Pierce says, Dusty saying he loves Papa Roach, but then proceeding to sing a song from the wrong band.
Love these guys. I think what we've learned today is you're a Linkin Park fan.
You know what? I didn't mind Linkin Park, and I heard that new girl they have as a front person.
I hated them too.
You hated them too?
I loved 90s metal, but then
they were different.
The
though.
shark
They were
was jumped. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit different. A teeth.
Okay.
I can fall asleep anywhere in my wheelchair. One time I fell asleep in a mall in Texas on a sledge hockey trip, and somebody called the trooper on me, came to check on me and woke me up and said, "Sir, are you okay?" And I said, yeah, I'm just sleeping. hey, wait a second.
He probably wins.
I got one for that one.
Cool story, Hansel.
I can fall asleep anywhere. Imagine being the trooper to wake him up, give him a couple nudges, and then.
This text from the 514 number, it says, guys, what happened to the old nap station ideas? Yeah, Dusty's Nap Emporium.
Nap Emporium, yeah.
Not there yet, but it could be a branch coming off of EST at some point where, tired parents can just go sleep in, a bunch of pods with other nap people.
Yeah. You did have a property lined up, I believe, on Stony Plain Road, but now that the LRT is going down there, you kind of had to
pump the brakes
back from that one, yeah.
So we're currently looking for a new place.
Jasmine in the nasty chat, I fell asleep in an MRI. She really liked the white noise. You've been in one of those, hey? Those tubes.
I would never go in that.
Yeah.
Scare me too
very
much.
Peaceful.
Burgerler says, my wife has a video of me sleeping on the couch with my infant child, full-blown crying a foot beside me. Look, you're tired. You're tired at that point.
Tired.
Big Dave says, I fell asleep getting a tattoo once. I don't know if that counts as a public place or not, but it happened.
It's public.
I mean, a tattoo place I would say is somewhat public. How do you fall asleep when you're going through pain like that?
There was an older lady when I used to, when my local was the Royal Pizza in Inglewood.
Yeah.
I'd go there for suppers, every second night.
Yeah.
And there was an old lady that she was a regular too, but she had, what's that thing? Is it narcolepsy? When you fall asleep, you just drop. So she would order her roast beef supper. And one night she face planted right in the potatoes. Like she was just down.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. It was, and
that would be really weird.
Everybody knew, so it was just like, "Hey, Nancy,
wake up, Nancy."
Yeah. And nobody really made fun of her.
Finish your potatoes,
but the
Nancy.
first couple of times seeing it was quite the Because you imagine living like that though, knowing you could just drop whenever, and then what?
That would be the worst.
You almost need a handler with you.
Yeah, or a dog at least that can sense it. Can't dogs sense that stuff's coming?
They can sense everything. Yeah,
dogs are pretty incredible, man. They really are. All right. We got Beer of the Week coming up, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. We're 53 away from changing 300. Matt at the Garrison says, sign me up for the Naporium. Little guy was up until 1:30 last night. Yeah. Yeah, man. I honestly think
put him on the list.
A place where you can go and pay $20 to nap for an hour would would kill.
Just cash.
It would kill. Cash only.
Cash only.
Yeah, it's actually, we're not on the up and up at the Nap Emporium.
You're charging people to sleep.
How much do you think I could charge somebody? As a tired parent, how much would you pay for an hour of sleep right now? I know when I was exhausted around the clock when the kids were little, and don't get me wrong, my wife was more tired than I am, but I was tired. I would have paid at least $20. I probably would have gone $30 for an hour's uninterrupted sleep.
I think,
if you stay for 2 hours, you save $5.
The chamber would get that in quicker than even EST. I bet you. They'd be all over that.
Yeah, that's my next goal. Create Dusty's Nap Emporium and get into the Chamber of Commerce with that as well. Speaking of getting into the Chamber of Commerce, Glue Guy, one of our afternoon guys, he's going to join us. We did that video earlier in the week how we somehow got accepted to the Edmonton Chamber, and now he's at an event this morning called Coffee with the Chamber. We don't know the location of this or how he got in. But he's going to join
Initiation.
us from inside the meeting. It's going to be something.
Bohemian Grove.
We got Beer of the Week coming up next, though. Of course, we'll have a gift certificate for you. Ryan Kemp's going to join us after an update from Screaming Retriever down in Calgary. We're going to get rid of the show meat.
We got to
We're
get
going
rid
to
of
slot a bunch of beers on the desk here, and then we're going to get into that for Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. Let's get to an update right now for Sit and Sleep with Lieutenant Eric. Beer of the Week, Glue Guy from Coffee with the Chamber, Marmot Basin Snow Report, and the wrap for William Huff, all still to come here before 9 o'clock on a Friday. Let's get to the update.
Oilers dropped their 5th straight last night, 4-3 to the Panthers. Leon Draisaitl would score in his 7th straight game, his league-leading 44th of the campaign. The Oilers will wrap up that road trip tomorrow night in Carolina. Hurricanes, meanwhile, they knocked off the Sabres 5-2. Mikko Rantanen with a goal and an assist. Vegas topping Chicago 7-5. And the Jets' win streak snapped at 11 as they were grounded by the Predators 2-1. 3 games around the NHL tonight. Avalanche hosts the Wild, the Kings visit the Stars, and the Rangers are at home to Toronto. The Edmonton Oil Kings road trip continues as they're in Prince Albert tonight to battle the Raiders. That trip will wrap up Sunday in Saskatoon against the Blades. Tonight in the NBA, the Lakers take on the Clippers in the latest Battle of LA, while also 1v2 in the East when the Celtics host Cleveland. Detroit Pistons also will look to make it 9 wins in a row when they host Denver. Last night, Lakers won their 4th straight, holding off Minnesota 111-102. And Steph Curry had 56 points as the Warriors beat the Magic 121-115. The Montana's Brier gets underway tonight from Kelowna as Alberta's Kevin Cooey will face Manitoba's Matt Dunstone rink at 7:30. The other Alberta team, led by Brad Jacobs, they'll begin play tomorrow afternoon against Yukon at 2:30. Over to the University of Alberta, the Golden Bears hockey team visit Mount Royal tonight for Game 1 of the Can West semifinals. The other semi will feature the U of S Huskies hosting the UBC Thunderbirds. Pandas hockey welcome in Mount Royal tonight from Claire Drake. And Golden Bears volleyball hosts the Dinos from the Saville Center tonight and tomorrow. Sit and Sleep currently offering a winter clearance event from massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture. Our winter clearance event is your chance to transform your home at a fraction of the cost. Plus, enjoy perks like free local white glove delivery and special financing offers that make it even easier to bring home the best. Visit us today in South Common, next to Planet Fitness.
On the Nielson Show, Beer of the Week coming up. Blue Guy will join us from the Chamber of Commerce meeting that he's at. We'll get to that coming up as well before 9 o'clock. Marmot Basin Snow Report. Fergie, what's up, Fergie? Fergie in the house today?
He's hanging out.
Oh, are you on the hangout today, Fergie? All right, Fergie's prostate on the hangout. Brought in some donuts as well.
Hey.
Give one to Maddie. All right. We thought that was funny. All right, let's get into Beer of the Week. Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. We do have a gift certificate to Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. If you'd like to win that, all you have to do right now is text us Beer Me. Just text Beer Me to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Text Beer Me, and one of you will win that gift certificate. We've got Ryan Kemp, CEO, president, and founder of Screaming Retriever Brewing Company in Calgary. He joins us on the show this morning. Let's bring Ryan in. Ryan, good morning. How you doing, man?
Good, thanks. How are you guys? Looks like you're having some good times and some banter back and forth.
Yeah, we have some fun here. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have 2 of them. I have a 2-year-old daughter who's luckily at daycare and a 7-month-old son. So quite busy, and 2 screaming duck-holding retriever dogs as well.
Yeah. So just saying here. If there was a place called the Naporium where you could go and nap for a bit, would you be willing to pay like $20 for a 1-hour nap right now?
Well, not to skip this show. No, I wouldn't do that. But I would.
Shortly after.
I would say about a month ago, I would be paying for that. But now it seems like my son has figured out how to sleep through the night. Thankfully,
lucky guy.
So I'm off the hook a bit here. Yeah. But my wife definitely spent quite a bit of time, especially early on in our son's life, trying to figure out how to get him to sleep. And I think she would use the service far more than I would.
Well, you know what?
So.
You know what? This is a great idea. You just gave me a great idea. At Dusty's Nap Emporium, I'll sell gift certificates. Yeah. And then you can get her a gift certificate to go have a nap, which will work.
Exactly.
Couples deals.
Yeah, a couple
no
deals.
Kidding. I know everybody thinks Matt leave his time off work, but it's really more work than working. So.
All right, tell us. We're going to try some of these beers. But first, tell us a little bit about the brewery. How long you've been around? How'd you started? Give us the background.
So the background of the name, it comes from two Nova Scotia duck-toller dogs, which are the world's smallest retriever breeds, and they love to scream when they get excited. It's a trait with the breed itself. They're originally a crossbreed of golden retrievers and cocker spaniels, and their breed originated in Nova Scotia, where they were trying to make the ultimate duck hunting dog. Where the brewery comes into play is I had a time in my life where I had a long-time corporate job, was laid off. I was trying to figure out what to do with the next step of my working career, because obviously I was only 32, 33 years old at the time. And what I really found was there wasn't really a brewery, in Alberta at least, that was connecting dogs with like outdoor adventure.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea kind of fused together. You can see in our logo a little bit of my shirt, the dog here with the mountains and all that stuff. But that was the idea, is to bring that together. And we're a family owned business, so it's myself, my father, and my brother-in-law. When my brother-in-law has a beer, the last one you'll probably try is there's a little story behind his influence in the branding. But that's really where it came together. And if you guys would like to hear
how long have you guys been doing it for?
We started in 2021, so right around the kind of the middle of the last COVID shutdown.
Yeah,
and it's where we kind of got started. We're a 100% distribution operation. So you can find us in liquor stores across Alberta, a little bit in Saskatchewan, and some bars as well.
All right, so we've got 4 beers in front of us. We've got Lady Mac, we got the Heth, Little Snappy, and Peaky Hikers. I believe the Peaky Hikers Vienna Lager is the beer of the week.
Boston accent coming out again.
It's coming back. I was in Boston last week.
You just try it for the night, yeah?
Yeah. $14.99 for the 4-pack of the Peaky Hikers Vienna Lager. Is this where we should start, or is there an order we should try these in?
I'll start with the Peaky Hikers just because it is the feature beer for the Brewery of the Week. And I got some pretty cool notes about this one. So Vienna Lager is a very interesting style because it's amberish in color. You're going to get bready, toasty notes. Our little twist is there's a little bit of roasted wheat for smokiness at the back end, but it's a very crisp lagered finish. This style has a very interesting history as it was started, and obviously the name gives it away. It started in Vienna in 1841, but it kind of died off around the First World War, and I'm making an assumption here that's because probably the Austro-Hungarian Empire told everybody who had a factory to quit making beer and start making munitions. But it was revived in Mexico, of all places, by Austrian immigrants.
Really?
So I think what I love about the style is that it's very much like bringing together very malt-forward complexity, but the crisp lagered finish. I also want to emphasize all beers in this lineup have purely Alberta malts.
Oh, nice.
But a particular shout out I want to give to this beer is Red Shed Malting in Penhold, just outside of Red Deer. They provide such high quality malts, and this particular style needs the best malts out there. So,
I'm interested to get a taste of the smoky
great.
finish. It looks. It just doesn't look like a lager, right? Like it's just. It's like Yeah, I'm very okay. Cheers. Let's do cheers to parents getting the right amount of sleep for kids. Trev, did you get yours? All right, here we go. Yeah, cheers. Let's.
All right, I got my hair, but it's just the can the wrong way. So, you give me your thoughts.
Oh wow, there is. Yeah, you do. You get that at the end. I got just a little sip, another sip there. That's pretty unique.
Very nice.
Yeah, and also the story behind the name is an interesting one too. So I'm sure you guys guessed this did come spin off of Peaky Blinders, but when 2020 hit and all you could do really around Calgary was go hiking, my friend and I made a joke that because we were in the Peaky Blinders that we should be called the Peaky Hikers. So we had to summit a very difficult mountain. We put on our Instagram story the silly red hand by Nick Cave, the Piggy Blinders theme. So it's kind of spun off. I'm like, well, this is kind of on brand too. Let's name of this beer.
No razor blades though in your caps, or anything like that. Like you didn't take it that far.
No, we're not doing that. We don't also.
All right, which one should we try next, man? We got Lady.
We should go to Lady Mac.
Lady Mac. Okay, all right. Seasoned
This
blonde.
is a blonde session ale.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is easy drinking, crisp, light, sweet, bready finish. This is a lot. People would more or less call this the lawnmower beer, but I have a different term for this, being a little more on brand with the outdoor adventure. I call this the post-hike Gatorade.
Okay.
So this is only 4.2%, and you get nice, sweet, bready notes, quite refreshing, but not overpowering boozy taste at all. And I really like to tell a story too about like what the word session ale means, if you want to hear that.
Yeah, give it to me.
Yeah, so the session ale, the term gets kind of misappropriate, I think, in craft beer, because a lot of people think the word session just means, oh, it's a session IPA. Well, session just means it's between 3 and 4.9%. The term originates from the First World War in Britain when factory workers would have a beer between work sessions. However, the breweries were making beers that were too strong, and so there was lots of accidents at the assembly line, and the factory owners had to go to the breweries and say, well, you need to make a beer that's more appropriate for between work sessions. So lighter alcohol.
And
so you
easy
can have a beer.
drinking. I like it. That's
Exactly.
It makes sense. It makes sense. All right. Yeah. Cheers to snapping a 5-game Oilers losing streak tomorrow against Carolina.
Yeah,
right? Let's
calming
do
the
that.
hurricane. Yeah.
Cheers. Yeah, let's do that.
I won't say anything there. I'm a Flames guy, so I might be tactical this for you.
Yeah, no jokes.
We figured as
no jokes, man.
I was getting that down. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is easy.
Way ahead of us in the standings.
Easy drinking right there.
That is, it resembles the yellow Gatorade as well.
Yeah, it actually kind of does. You could pour that on a coach after a football game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's how good that is. All right, then we got a little snappy and does Heffy. So Heffy. So what do you want to do next? The Heffy?
Let's do the Heffy first. The original hazy, I like to call this one because it's the original cloudy beer style of the world. I love the label of this one because it's got my oldest dog Photoshop, like he's going to some sort of October.
He's got the hat on and everything, eh?
He definitely does. The flavor profile you get with this very much like more of a yeasty wheat beer, but nice balance of banana clove. This is my favorite of the lineup.
You can smell that banana. Like you can smell that banana for sure.
Absolutely. And another history lesson if you're down for it with the style itself. So Hefeweizen, or if you're speaking in Deutsch, Hefeweizen, means yeast of the wheat. It's been around for a long time, but the interesting story is at one point the medieval rulers of Bavaria in southern Germany banned the style from being brewed because they used so much wheat to make beer that it caused a famine because there was no wheat to make bread.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, there we go. All right, cheers to... Do a cheers here? Let's do a cheers. Who are we cheersing to?
Yeah, cheers again.
Cheers to...
The Chamber.
The Chamber of Commerce allowing us here.
To the Chamber.
Oh, here, Trev. Here, Trev, get a pour in there. Trev, there we go.
Sneak one in.
Oh, that's delicious.
Oh, yeah. You smell the banana.
That might be
you
my
kind of
favorite
taste
one.
it going
That is
down,
really
too.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That banana there is I mean, that's good. I like that one, too. And then we have Little Snappy New England IPA. Tell me about Little Snappy. Where'd this one come from?
So Little Snappy, the name comes from, if you wonder the dog has a football in its paws. My brother-in-law, he's now currently the long snapper for the BC Lions, but before that, he was in the NFL for 10 years, Kyle Nelson.
Okay, yeah.
The name, so you recognize the name. His dad was a coach for the Eskimos for quite a few years. He spent most of his childhood actually in Edmonton. So there's a nice, strong Edmonton connection with this one. The name comes from when he played with the 49ers one season. I believe the story was that everybody on the team had to have a rap nickname, so the guys gave him Lil Snappy.
He was Lil Snappy.
What a name.
Lil Snappy. So there's a lot of funny little jokes we can make with this one to say if you've had a few too many of these, you might get a little snappy later. This beer, the differentiator from most New England IPAs is this doesn't have a strong yeast component, but it has a very bold aroma. So you want to smell it first because it's heavily dry hop, just meaning you add hops while it's fermenting for flavor and aromatic purposes. There's Very bold tropical fruit notes, lychee, but a very robust malty backbone.
All right.
It is a little snappy.
Trev, come here. Trev, Trev's doing something. Trev's running around. He's doing something there. Okay, let's cheers to Trev doing extra work this morning.
Absolutely.
That's great. Here's the little snappy from Screaming Retriever.
Sorry, I turned the can the wrong way there. I'm looking pretty amateur behind the desk here.
Oh, that's good.
Man, 4 for 4 here.
Yeah.
These are absolutely delicious. And you said available in all Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, all 4 of these?
Yeah, all 4 of them will be available. The Peaky Hikers will be one of the greatest discount, but the other ones will be on sale as well at the end cap of your local Sobeys liquor stores until March 5th. So that's next Thursday. So we started the promotion, or Sobeys started the promotion yesterday.
Okay. All right. So we get the whole weekend and through next week as well. All right, man. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Great looking dogs too.
Yeah, These cans are terrific.
Breed,
yeah, I love it. I think it's a unique branding of a beer, and I'm for it, man. I think it's terrific. It's Screaming Retriever out of Calgary, available at Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. Their Peaky Hikers Vienna Lager is the beer of the week this week for $14.99. And once again, we do have that gift certificate to Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. You can text in "Beer Me" right now, and one of you will end up winning that. Thanks a lot for the time today, man. Great meeting you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate your time today and really enjoyed it. So thanks for having me on.
There we go. That's Ryan Kemp, CEO, president, and founder of Screaming Retriever Brewing out of Calgary. Trev, everything good? You were running around there. You're like in a mad scramble. I'm all worried about you two, Trev, right now.
It's the chamber.
Good. We're just, I know we're getting it all sorted out. Just with the glue guy.
The chamber's not allowing him to connect.
Well, they probably have.
Because it's a secret place.
There's hoops we have to jump through, probably.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Having a little bit of connection issues, but he will be on shortly.
Okay. All right, well, let's do Marmot Basin Snow Report. And then we'll bring in Glue Guy from a Coffee with the Chamber.
Wonder how many he's had already.
Boy, he might have 2 coffees already.
Bohemian Grove.
Oh, boy. All right, let's get into it. The Snow Report from Marmot Basin on a Friday. Heading into a weekend. Hit the slopes, shred the gnar, find the corduroy.
What was that other French term yesterday?
Copiste.
Like, winter's here. I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm
Just so stoked.
Yes.
I mean, it came down last night, what, a good 5 inches?
Last night, I think so. Something like that, and a couple feet the day before.
And you've got a 5-foot base with 5 inches of freshie on top.
18 centimeters of new snow in the last 6 days. None overnight, but flurries are in the forecast for Sunday and Monday. -4, the high for today. A stunning sunrise in the mountains this morning. Beautiful blue skies. Looking like it'll be another amazing bluebird day up there. 18 runs were groomed overnight. All of the chairs are spinning today. 84 centimeter snow beast, almost 200 centimeters total for the year. And they got some great spring deals and events coming up, so stay tuned on their socials. And of course, check out the website, www.skimarmot.com. Hit the slopes. Hit the slopes. Hit the slopes.
Silly
Hit the
goose.
slopes.
It's Friday. Live a little.
Don't you dare, Trev.
I was disappointed.
Makes my day.
Marmot Basin Snow Report. God, I love the snow report. Almost makes me want to ski. I'm not a skier, but my son actually really likes it. He went again.
Good.
And he really enjoyed it the second time. He got to go up and down like 20 times. He was loving it.
Grab a beer, Trev.
Little Snappy. Yeah, have you not tried Little Snappy yet? I was doing all the work. Anyway, good job. Get that little Snappy pour in there. Which one was your favorite, Rick? They were all very... That first one, Peaky Hikers.
I like the first one.
If you're looking for a unique taste, you get the smoke.
Yeah.
Like the smoke hits you.
You get the smoke, and pouring that into a glass, the look of it is just, it's not too dark.
Well, it says it's a lager,
dark
but it's
enough
like,
that
it looks like an amber ale.
Yeah, but it's a little on the lighter side. It just looks appetizing. Delicious. And a good unique brand. Like I must say, the whole dog angle and everything, and I mean it's an adorable breed.
I don't even know how they make that taste on a beer. Like it's
magic. I bet you the chamber knows.
Beer is science.
It is science.
It's what it is.
Buster burners and
It's
all that
formulas, and it's burning things off, and it's soaking things out.
And sometimes it can go awry.
It is squeezing things probably out of a washcloth at some point.
Yes.
And,
Cheesecloth.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's a cheese beer. Has anybody made a cheese beer yet? Let's crank it up a notch. Has Glue Guy been able to connect yet? Oh my God. Do you think we ever see Glue Guy again?
Probably not.
Maddie's on the phone with him right now as we speak. I think there's a good chance we'll probably see a Glue Guy.
I think I know
he can just phone
I think
in,
I probably
can't
know
he?
what the issue is.
I heard that.
What? Phoning in?
Maddie, yeah, that's what Maddie said. He
Well,
said
why
he can
not,
probably
you know?
just phone it. It's not the same.
It does. It's not the same.
but,
I want to see.
you know.
I want to see the inner workings of a coffee with the chamber. You know. Oh, Tommy Gazzola in the house. Tommy the Rich. Tommy Gazzola. He's back, baby. He's coming in hot.
Give me a kiss.
No, don't kiss him.
Well,
Don't kiss
a
him.
true test, right?
Yeah. Are you, Tommy? If you're really healthy, you'll kiss me on the lips right now.
Do it.
Come on.
Do it.
Let's do it.
He's trying to.
Do it. Come on.
Trev, calm down.
He
you
loves
weirdo.
seeing guys.
Sorry.
So Maddie, I like your sweater today, buddy. That's a really professional looking sweater. I think.
I would agree.
Trev just
hot though.
Trev just touched the
feels
sweater.
good.
Feels nice.
4 degrees.
Is that cashmere? It looks cashmere.
Wool?
I think it's a cashmere sweater.
It's a hoodie too.
I know. It's a fancy. Like I like that thing.
Yeah.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-99. Timber Woodsman says, Dusty, you grew up so close to some amazing ski hills. How did you never ski?
Well, Cranbrook, you're in the valley there, aren't you? Like you're kind of. It's almost prairie-like.
I
right?
grew
Like,
up on a farm 15 minutes away from Kimberly.
You're not a mountain man.
Kimberly had a huge ski hill. I'll tell a funny story, I guess, about our family and skiing. And then Fernie wasn't far away. Like I should have been a skier. A couple of my best buddies were skiers. We went in grade 3, similar to what Marshall's doing now in grade 4, like as a class.
Mm-hmm.
We went as a class, and I couldn't get up the bunny toe. I kept falling down and like rolling down the hill. So I just quit. I was just like, that's it. I'm never going to be good at skiing.
rolling
I'm out.
down the hill.
So you could go up later. Like I'd go up other times, and they had like an outdoor hockey rink there. So you could just skate instead of ski. So I just kind of messed around, played shinny while everybody else was skiing at the hill. But sometimes my family, we would get KFC and we'd go up and park and watch everybody ski and just eat KFC and then go back to the farm.
Oh.
I mean, however you have to ski, right? That was a close. My mom and dad be like, do you want to go to the ski hill today? We're like, yeah.
Do you want to eat KFC?
And then we get
on the
like a
ski hill?
bucket
Yeah.
of KFC and sit in the truck and just watch other people ski. But, you know, KFC back in the time, that was like prime KFC.
With the old coleslaw.
Early 90s.
Yeah, that old coleslaw recipe they had.
The gravy was unreal, like all that stuff. Unfortunately,
skins.
they've been passed by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. But yeah, that was basically that's as close as I got to skiing again after that.
Well,
first
maybe you
time.
start a new tradition. You take Marshall up. You go.
Well, my dad
you go to
was-
Rabbit Hill, get a bucket of Popeyes, and
Yeah.
say, Marshall, you know,
Oh,
like
let's
me,
go.
my old man.
Let's go. Should we go skiing today, son? Let's get a bucket of Popeyes. Go
so me and Dad
park at
did
the
it.
bottom of the hill,
Yeah.
just like me and your grandfather did back in the day. Well, my dad actually he came skiing with us the one time I went skiing.
Yeah.
He was one of the chaperone parents.
Okay. Oh.
And HR Daddy, I don't think had ever really skied either. So
No,
he
he's
took us.
not.
But then he's like, I'm going up to the top of the mountain, son. I'll see you in a bit.
And
I
you
swear,
never
I
saw him
swear to
again.
God, he was gone for an hour and a half. I was crying. I was like, my dad's lost on the mountain. He came down. He looked like he'd been in 4 years of the World War II.
No poles, jacket
it was a
undone,
mess.
just jeans.
It was a mess. So I mean, we never skied after that again.
Well, at least
So-
you're not breaking the tradition. I could see if you were like a skiing fan, and you're the one that doesn't. You just flat out. It wasn't.
No,
It wasn't even
but
like it was-
Tammy likes to ski.
Okay.
Although her big skiing story is one time she went off the edge of a cliff and smashed into a tree. So I'm like, well, then
God.
maybe skiing's not for us. But now this marmot thing looks so fun.
You
It's
got
just
to know
like,
what you're doing. Yeah.
I want to be able to ski to my car and have a sandwich, and then ski back up.
Well, you can do that at Marmot.
Yeah, I know.
Talk to Will.
Yeah, that phrase knows all about this stuff. All right, so what's the deal with Glue Guy?
He is over the phone.
He's over the phone, but he is inside
over
the
moon.
chamber right now.
I don't know, or we're about to find
You know,
out.
it doesn't surprise me that the chamber is so exclusive. You can't do video from there.
Are you surprised?
I'm not. No,
exactly.
no, not in any way. Let's go to Glue Guy on the phone from inside a chamber event for the first time. Jason Milne, how are you?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Are you confirmed? Confirmed. We can't hear you.
Hey guys. Well, Sorry, I'm a little frazzled right now.
Figured so. Yeah.
Last
that
night
coffee.
at 10:30, I got an email.
Oh no.
It was from an undisclosed sender. It just said chamber invite in the subject line. So I open it up and it says meet at Capilano Mall at 8:15, password croissant. So I'm like, okay, I'm there. So I was there early. I was there at 8:10. And there's me and two other guys waiting around, and nobody was talking. Like they must have been here before because they didn't talk. So up pulls this white, it's like a 15-passenger van. Doors swing open and points at me and says, "What's the password?" I say, "Croissant." Okay, come on, the van. Immediately, I'm blindfolded.
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything else.
A sack, maybe.
So, yeah, I didn't know what direction we were going. I don't know where I am. All I know is that when I got here, we were in an underground parking lot, and we've now come up.
Okay.
And I'm sorry about the video, but I would imagine they have some sort of system that, kind of derails video system.
Electromagnetic.
Electromagnetic. It's electromagnetic for sure. Yeah.
It's electromagnetics for sure.
Good.
And so I couldn't do the video, but we got to find a way. I'm surprised you still have
your phone, buddy. I'm surprised you still have your phone.
I thought they would have
taken it away.
Hey, this isn't even my real phone. This is the one I had stuffed down my pants because they took the real phone in the white van.
I knew that would pay off. I knew the crotch phone would pay off. This is perfect.
Well,
Has anybody spanked you yet, Jay?
Nobody's touched me. Nobody's talking. I'm sitting alone I'm in a cinder block room, and they said we'll be back at 9. So I don't even know. Am I in the chamber? Is this the chamber, or am I now going to be led to a bigger chamber? I don't know. I'm to be honest. Like I'm a little worried at this point, but I think it'll be okay.
You're like a canary in a coal mine for us right now.
Yeah, guys, I don't know.
Maybe the chamber is like
he's got to go.
Here. Oh no, he's got to go. Jay! Oh my God, we lost him.
What just happened?
I don't know. We lost him though.
Perhaps the chamber is the mental landscape that they put you in. Like he is now.
I hope.
It's like the Matrix. He's lying down in a pod somewhere.
Have you seen the movie Sneakers? Probably not. But in Sneakers, Robert Redford, I think it's Robert Redford. It might be Linkin Park. I don't know. I think
Jeremiah Johnston.
Robert Redford gets kidnapped, and there's a blind guy on the team who has a great sense of hearing. And he tells him, "Tell me what you heard," as they were driving you away. And they managed to find him. So it was very impressive. We might have to go full Sneakers here to get Glue Guy back.
Skechers.
Oh boy. Well, looks like Reed's doing the show by himself today. Let's get into the rap for William Huff. If you want to be like William, be like us, go to WilliamHuff.com. They've been doing it since 1952. The best in the biz. And we only want to work with the best in the biz. Simple as that. What did we learn on the show today, boys?
Oh, that story's gone. It said something about Broberg Holloway justifying offer sheets up at TSN. Probably some article.
Okay, what? Say this again?
Broberg and Holloway offer sheets justified. It was up at TSN. It was just to,
this sounds like Travis Yost for
pour
sure.
a little vinegar. Oh, Scott Yost.
Had to be Yost.
Written all over it, baby.
It had to be Yosty. Had to be old Yosty.
Besser and Rantanen, though, cracking top 4 on the TSN trade bait board a week out as the trade bait board updated about a little less than an hour ago. Brock Nelson sitting at number 1 from the New York Islanders. Brock Besser, Mikko Rantanen, Braden Shen, Scott Lawton rounding out your top 5. Carson Suzy, Seth Jones, Rasmus Risto, Ricard Raquel, and Brandon Tanev, your 6 to 10.
It's a lot of names.
Ryan Donato, number 11.
And a lot of people appreciating my Sneakers reference. Thanks, guys. It was a good movie. I like Sneakers. I learned that Trev makes a great meat mule.
Yes. Good thing we had the butcher's paper. Because I would be eating that.
All right. Let's see. We got the text of the day coming up. We'll get to text today. Bring up Scalding Gord. Scalding Gord had some good text.
He
today.
was
I've
on
got a note
fire
here
all
for
morning
Scalding
long.
Gord today.
Yeah.
He was bringing some heat today.
Credit as well to the Moist Man for kind of pouring.
Moist Man was a very happy boy, but wrong place for that today.
Who are you, Stuart Skinner?
Yeah, let's get to your sound of the day very quickly. Here we go, sound of the day.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow these.
Not church yet.
Oh, you're right. It's not church yet.
I love how Kane's
That'll
deal
be
too.
Mondays.
Like that all changes in the month of church. Like it's a big day.
It's a big thing.
I would have thought you would have sang your favorite Papa Roach song as well.
Yeah.
I would have been.
One step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break.
Somebody that
everything you say to me.
You and Marshall at the bottom of the hill eating Popeyes and listening to Papa Roach, but it's actually Lincoln Park in the vehicle. That's it.
That's good too.
Scalding Gord. I mean, which text? He goes, sure, he knows these beer history facts, but did he think it was an O on the card?
No, that's not. That's not the one. I got to find Scalding Gord here because I
fall asleep every time Lieutenant Eric hands me a drink. Signed YouTube Trev. That also comes in from Scalding Gord.
No. Let's see here.
He also tweeted in the Bobby Valentine disguise. Referring that to this case, like he was on fire today.
Yeah, he was all over it today. I think my favorite.
Just don't tell us how Travis smuggled the meat in.
No.
Oilers' problems are clearly Chris Jones' fault for not starting Trey Ford.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Oilers' problems are clearly Chris Jones' fault for not starting Trey Ford.
He also says Corey the Butcher needs to hold a meet and greet.
Yeah, but
which is a delicious play on
He spelled
words.
meat with an A.
Yeah. Gord.
Oh, what a show today.
Yeah.
What a show. All right, that's going to do it for the Nielson show today. The Hangout's coming up. Maddie, Tommy, Fergie, all in today on the Hangout. And then I think Brundon is doing the afternoon shows today. I think Zach's off today.
Tulski?
I think Zach comes off today.
Old Tulski?
Yeah, he is. All right, for YouTube, Trev, Lieutenant Eric, I'm Dustin Nielsen. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11. Until then, we'll talk to you then. Enjoy the Hangout. Take it easy.